live from, let me see, where are we? We're at Mortgage One Studios here in Yuma, Arizona. I've got Chris Larson coming in. I'm assuming, in fact, I know he's on his way. He'll be here shortly. Phone lines are open 928-941-0304. It'll probably be a while, but we will get a new line, a dedicated line set up for that at some point. Uh, Wanted to talk about Biden era student loan program. Uh, Biden was known for admitting, I say admitting, during his when he wasn't running for president before, when he was a senator, or maybe he was even running for president, he would mention before that there's nothing he can do with student loans as far as through an executive branch. Executive branches can't control it. Of course, once he was in, he wrote a lot of executive orders forgiving loans, working out programs to give the money away, give away taxpayer money, and all that. Probably for political reasons. You're such a nice guy giving money away. Of course, it's not his money; he's giving that away. The the court system said no. I mean, he got told no a lot, and then he'd go to the microphone and say, "Look, I'm not going to let the Supreme Court tell me what to do." Type attitude, and we'll find a way around it. We'll find a way around it. Well, that stuff was still out there, active in some of his plans. Some of his plans in order to get around the Supreme Court ruling. And I know one was just recently got through the U.S. Court of Appeals in the Eighth Circuit, and it had to go through this income-based repayment program that he came up with, and it was an alternative to a SAVE plan, which that would finalize the termination of the savings on a valuable education plan, the SAVE Act, or whatever. But the Eighth Circuit refused the lower court's February dismissal of a Republican-led challenge against the SAVE plan. That ruling was issued by John Ross of the U.S. Court of the Eastern District, and it originally was introduced in 2023 under President Biden. The SAVE plan was hailed as the most affordable repayment plan ever for federal student loans. And I think most people know my opinion on the student loans. It should have never been taken over by the government. It was working just fine until Obama got in and decided it would be better if the government gave the money away versus banks. And it used to be banks. You'd go in and get a loan from a bank, and it would be at an extremely low rate, and it would be similar conditions as what they ended up with. Low interest. The interest doesn't start accumulating until after you graduate, and then you have a payment plan. And it was guaranteed by the U.S. government. The U.S. government guaranteed the loan, and with the same deal that you can't bankrupt your way out of it, you can't have an excuse. Well, Obama changed it and put it into the federal government, kept the rules kind of the same, but he opened it up. You could borrow money for anything on that. We had to show what our tuition was, what our book cost was in order to borrow money just for those reasons. And he opened it up and said, well, it's lodging, it's meals, it's cars, whatever you need to go to school, put it on the tab. And too many people did and got hurt by the program. Well, this SAVE program was, make it easier to skip out. It was supposed to be the most affordable not for the taxpayer, but affordable for the person that has the loan. It was the first and only plan in history that prevented the balance from ever growing by subsidizing 100% of all unpaid monthly interest. Remember, they paused it. They paused the student loan program during COVID, which said you don't have to pay and we're not going to come get you. There's not going to be any collectors. You're not going to get any nasty phone calls. You can just skip your payments. It didn't skip the debt, didn't skip the interest, but payments. 7 million borrowers reportedly remain enrolled in the SAVE plan. As far as the fourth quarter. They enrolled in the SAVE plan have been urged to explore switching to a new repayment program. And I would imagine they were urged because they thought it's not going to be considered legal. Among alternative options, the income-based repayment, that's one I guess it's still acceptable, sets monthly payments at 10 to 15% of discretionary income over a 20 to 25 year period. And then under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act passed last year by President Trump, the repayment assistance program will become available starting July 1st, 2026. Uses a sliding scale of 1 to 10% of a borrower's adjusted income, requires 30 years of payments for all participants. Wow. And then there's a public service loan forgiveness, a federal program that cancels remaining student debt after 10 years of qualifying for public service. That's been out there. If you go into public service, you don't make a lot of money, and it'll cancel your debt at some point. I guess after 10 years. Well, Monday's decision was effectively resolved a years long battle between Republican-led states and federal government. The ruling comes as nearly 8 million borrowers paused payment under litigation forbearance following an earlier injunction, and it follows a brief period of confusion when a lower court attempted to dismiss the case after a settlement with the Trump administration. So, yeah, it hasn't completely wrapped up yet, but I don't know how many times Biden kept going to that well to say that we're going to. I'm getting email uh, uh, I, to turn off my alarm, which I don't have the ability right now. Uh, Somebody else does. Okay. Oh, a listener just sent me oil prices rise. Can see why significant portions of MAGA feels betrayed. MAGA going the way of the Tea Party? Question mark. I think that's premature. Um, he's not wrong. I say he. I'm assuming it's he. It says U.S. consumers expressed dismay over rising gas prices after attack on Iran, and he's referencing some research material and stuff that I've already read. Probably some of it. The all true. Gas prices in Yuma are between 340 and 350. Certainly not their highest, but it's not the direction we want to go, and it's a disappointment from where we've been. It has been a disappointment. Joe Rogan came out the other day and said we feel betrayed because of gas prices. Okay, I understand it. I do understand it. I also see some very, I don't know, bright spots and some very good working going on. Let me. I know I had an article in here which shows. Look, Trump is pushing oil. He got us back drilling. Uh, we're self sufficient, and that's his deal. Biden closed it down. Trump's opening it back up to keep prices stable. Granted, the Iran thing is going to cause some problems up until we get it settled, and um, I don't see how long it's going to last. I don't think so because they've really got the country shut down. Nothing can come in. Uh, but who knows? And in the United States, we're not patient. We shouldn't be. That's fine. And Joe Rogan speaking out, I accept that. I think I think he's wrong. He's not wrong to say it because it's uh, it's not good. As far as oil prices, it shot up to about 120, almost 117, and then it calmed down because and the stock market went back the other way. You didn't see a lot of people talk about that on the left at all. You didn't. You didn't say, "Wow, it's coming back down," and all that. Well, the reason it came back down is because, uh, and I don't know what was said between Putin and Trump or something, but it looks like to everybody that the this Iran war is not going to get legs. It's not going to keep growing. They are bombing the capabilities of Iran to cause problems very rapidly, and that Strait of Hormuz is be open within a week, according to our military. They tried to get a specific date. He wouldn't do it. And he said within a week. He says by then, yes, within a week, which I wholeheartedly believe. I mean, with the firepower and everything we've got over there, we can shut things down now. And getting those tankers rolling again will make a difference. But it's already down to $91 right now, and down from 117. And let me see where it was a month ago. It was at 60, so it's 50% higher. It's not in the range of pricing that's going to bring back $5 gas or anything. Not right now. Um, it shouldn't. But I know that it's got the attention of Trump, and that has also brought up some criticism from some people. Like, we shouldn't base our war efforts in Iran, our future, because Iran has attacked West, us, Israel for 47 years, killed Americans for 47 years, directly, indirectly, supported Houthis and Hamas and Gaza Strip, Palestinians, all of those guys, all of them, to kill Americans, kill Israelis, and cause uh, chaos in that region. It's just a fact. They've been doing that for quite some time. And you can't say, "Well, we don't wanna fix the problem because it might affect our economy for a blip. It might affect us. I don't wanna do it." And that's what's been going on, is kicking the can down the road and enabling them and letting them go on. I I agree with the fact that the situation was taken seriously, and Iran thumbed their nose at and said, "We're gonna build nuclear weapons again." Even though they were taken out, they're saying, "We're gonna keep rebuilding it. We still have enough uranium for." I think I heard like 9 or 11, something like that. They don't have them built. They don't have any bombs built, but they have enough to support those kind of bombs. Are we just gonna keep looking the other way like prior administrations and not do anything or do something? Or do we say, "Well, because the, country's gonna be mad at me because of oil prices, which are important. I can't do it." Well, I respect the fact that he's doing it. I also respect the fact that he's conscious of it, and that he's working hard to make sure that it stays stable. He was asked a question yesterday about the strategic reserves. Now, I have faulted Biden as others because he used the strategic reserve for political purposes. Trump has said he's going to take, I think it was 400,000 barrels out. I think it was right for. I don't have the notes in front of me, but a significant number of barrels out immediately. And he said, I will replenish those when things get stable again. And I believe him. Biden never replenished anything. He drained it down to minimum levels. He drained it as far as he could. And he did it just for elections. And you're going to say, well, Trump's doing it for elections too. Well, yes, possibly. I don't care. I think he's got a good plan to keep the country stable, to keep the country prosperous, and keep the country going forward exactly as he had planned. And it happens to coincide with an election, and it's more sensitive during that, absolutely. Biden drained the reserve at the same time he's draining the opportunity to drill, the opportunity to refine. He's draining the reserve at the same time, and with no intention to replenish. Trump put a lot of oil in even during his presidency, and he's going to do it again. There's no question. In fact, he got shut down by Congress because he requested some more. When oil prices were at historic lows, he says, "Hey, let's throw another $3 billion in there right now." And Congress said, "Nope." Unfortunately, I mean, why not buy it when it's real low? I guess it doesn't make sense to Congress. They'd rather. We have to use that money for fraud, by the way. Exactly. Use it for fraud, not not for strategic purposes like making sure that we get oil supplies stabilized and everything in the country. I I think he is working on it. I think it is. I believe him that the Hormuz, if it's open in a week, should also spur on additional relief on the money. But I don't see oil prices going much higher than they are right now. And the question is, when will they recede again down to where they were? When will they go back down to where they were? I want it as much as anybody for a lot of reasons. But right now, crude oil is about 50% higher than it was a month ago. It is, and it's been in the 60 range. Let me see the whole year, and if you go back max, you know, it was well over $100 in 2014, 2022, uh, and then it eventually from 2022 until now it's gone down to 60. but it's popped up right now momentarily, I think. I hope. I hope. I don't think it's being ignored by the administration at all. Do I think he's betrayed MAGA? No, I don't. Will I agree with everything Trump does no matter what? Because I'm just no, no. That's that would be the opposite of Trump derangement syndrome. Just agree with anything for any reason. I don't think we should have paused the Iran move simply to protect the oil because no matter when you do Iran, Iran is going to try to make the rest of the world pay. That's their deterrent, make the rest of the world pay. Thank goodness they don't have a nuclear bomb. Thank goodness. It probably would have been triggered by now because their country is being obliterated, and I don't mean residential, the military leadership, their ability to launch nuclears, their ability to launch any missiles, their ability to build them, to build the drones and to make war. It's being obliterated. It's not done. Many are saying, 70, 80%. In some cases, the Navy, they keep saying 100%, but they keep blowing up more ships. I don't think they count those small speedboats as naval ships, but they're being used to lay mines. And they had thousands of those, I think. I've seen pictures on YouTube of them standing by them and, on display, all those boats. And it was just a huge amount of those little speedboats, which they've been taken out. But I can't imagine them not being able to get that Strait of Hormuz completely covered in less than a week, and that's what the military says. So, no, I don't believe he's betrayed MAGA. And then it says MAGA going the way of the Tea Party was an interesting question. No, not at this point. I don't think so. The Tea Party is a small remnant of what it was. It got very popular during Obama, taxed enough already, and it made an impact. It made a huge impact. And I think a lot of that has turned into the Make America Great Again movement, and who knows how long those things last. Is it forever? Probably not. I don't know. It started under Reagan. It wasn't Trump that started coining the "Make America Great Again" phrase. That was Reagan. In fact, I have a campaign button at my house from Reagan. I mean, during the Reagan era that I bought that has him with "Make America Great Again" during his election, back during Reagan. So I don't think that sentiment has changed. I don't think the "Make America Great Again" movement is anything but as strong as it was the day that Trump was elected. And I always say that because I've seen the polls, and the poll numbers keep showing it, and it keeps outraging CNN. CNN's always like shocked that his popularity and his strength and support under MAGA remains strong. It's got to be nurtured. It's got to be taken care of. And if people like Joe Rogan have a problem, I'm listening. I'm paying attention to it, and I guarantee you he is, because he's a reflection of mood in the street. He's a reflection of things going on out there, and they don't like it. Will Joe Rogan relax if gas prices come back down in a week? I think so. I think so, and some of that may be that they did not want Iran attacked at all, but the poll numbers show overall Americans greatly agree with that. That Iran was an imminent threat. Iran is continuing to be an imminent threat, and more dangerous now than ever because they're trapped. Most of their assets are destroyed, and they're retaliatory. I've heard reports of their sleeper cells, in the West, including the United States, that they have triggered or released. I don't think those guys in New York were part of that, but who knows? Maybe they are out there. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Russ. How we doing?
I'm doing well, Carl. Good morning.
Another beautiful morning out.
It really is a nice day.
It's the kind of weather we just pray for every day.
Yeah.
And the good Lord gives it to us.
Yes.
And then he gets mad at us and cooks us real good.
Well, I don't think he's mad at us. Well, I think that's a cycle of things, man.
That's it. But anyway, my 2 cents going to have to go for the Tea Party, and I cannot remember when it started. Was it 2007 or 2009 down at the Ocean to Ocean Bridge? which were thousands of people down there.
Well, it would have been right when when Obama was elected the first time right
Yeah,
away. It was right
yeah,
after that.
yeah. Well, I can't remember it was 2007 or 2009, but that's how long it's been going. And it's really pretty strong still here in Yuma. We're going to
Yeah.
have the trolley out at the fair this year.
It was
So,
he was president of the United States November 4th, 2008 was elected. So it must have been 2009 that that thing was out there. We had a couple thousand people out there. And the tea parties were all over the place. We had tea parties
yes.
in every state, every community where, it was really, I mean, people just came out. It was a grassroots completely. It was not some of these leftist groups that are paid for that
No.
that you saw in Minneapolis and all, but it wasn't that. It was all grassroots. Now there was some Republican Party things that tried to jump in on it and take over parts of it, and that failed because it was grassroots, and that's the way it should have been. That's the way it still is.
And yeah, that's what it is today. It's
Right.
grassroots. It's
Right.
it's an organization all on its own, and and what they're doing is they want to make America great again. They want to help candidates that will help us make America great again. So,
Yeah.
and that's why out at the fair we're bringing candidates. A lot of these people drive all the way down from Phoenix just to see us, and it's pretty bad. Humans, all they got to do is get in their car and drive up the street and talk to these candidates, and these candidates will explain to them how we're going to make America great again.
Yeah.
One of the ladies.
Do you believe the Make America Great Again movement's going to fade? Do you think it's on its way out? I mean,
No.
that was a comment from one of the listeners. I certainly pay attention to that. I like that he does that. Make you think, make you look at it. I don't see any signs of that yet. But it's hard to maintain. I hear what he's saying. It's hard to maintain, but it's been maintained since 2016 and gotten stronger.
Yes, a lot of it now is America first.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
or make America healthy again. It's all kind of funny. Yeah. It's hilarious, actually.
Well, that's what President Trump is saying. Hey, make America first again, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nobody perfect in the world. There's only one person. He's here, not here anymore. But these people that try real hard to take good care of us, as President Trump does, he doesn't need to do this. You know that place down in Mar-a-Lago? He can spend every day down there and enjoy life real easy.
Right.
But this is his challenge.
Oh, he's doing more than most. He got criticized a little bit in his first term because he played a lot of golf, and he did. Of course, he was doing business on the golf course. They never criticize. I say the mainstream media never criticize Biden for sleeping on the beach constantly, but he spent more time on the beach than Trump spent on the golf course, and it wasn't a business trip on the beach. It was nappy time.
Yeah, he took a nap. You can see him and take pictures of him taking a nap.
Yeah.
I think the way your show's coming out, it's really because, when you're first on here, you could hardly understand, this. Now everything's just perfect.
Good.
And that's what technology's doing for us. It's a little bad starting out, but then it just comes out perfect.
Well, the technology's the same. It's the operator that had to learn it.
Well,
it was a learning curve for me. Yeah.
Yeah. But just be fortunate you can learn the learning curve.
Yeah, and I was studying it more today, to put more features in and do things which are coming. I just I've been preoccupied with other things, so there's only so much time I can put into it, and I've got to do the research first. I got to make sure I've got all the stories, I got all the stuff lined up, and but hopefully I'm not too busy this weekend. Could sit down and put some music in and put some stuff in there.
Well, it's all coming. You're doing a very good job, and we appreciate it. We don't have to go through withdrawals or nothing like that. So.
No, I'm not. It would have been a withdrawal for me.
Well, I think it'd have been that'd have been worse than a drunk going through withdrawals or somebody on cocaine or something.
I'm not ready for the rocking chair yet. I'm not ready
to
sit down and do that yet. And this has been a big part of my life for 25 plus years.
My chair does not rock, but it leans back, so that'll take care of it.
Well, you deserve it, buddy. So,
but Russ, Go ahead.
When's the trolley going to be out there? At the fair.
Well,
at the fair. Okay.
At the fair starts at 31st.
Okay.
And then we'll be out there. I'm trying to get the local candidates out during the week. And then we're going to have a lot of the heavy hitters on Friday and Saturday coming out. We're looking for Michael Carbone. He does our state very well, takes very good care of us.
He's done a great job. I really admire him.
Oh, yeah.
And he's the majority leader. He's not
Yes.
he's really gone that extra for leadership. And that's a thankless job on top of a thankless job. Yeah.
Well, he's got a very good friend up there. His name is Steve Montenegro.
Another guy.
So,
yeah, he's the speaker, man. And
yes.
And he really praises Carbone. He does.
And going back to the Tea Party is the one that have like Steve Montenegro and Darren Mitchell and Don Shooter.
Yeah.
The Tea Party went all out to help those candidates get elected.
Absolutely. And I know there's not as much of a Tea Party movement in the United States or in the state as there has been, but it's still there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I think the Tea Party is one of your stronger clubs. I don't know if you want to call it a club or an organization, but
yeah,
we're still, they're still getting a lot of stuff done.
Right.
Look at down at the block parties and stuff. That's a lot of work that people do too.
That's correct. There's been a lot of great people that have pitched in on that over time.
Oh yeah. Oh, that is correct. I think Sally was 4 or 5 years she was chairman. So
yeah.
So anyway, she did a good job at that. Everybody does a good job. Everybody does what they can. And then it's always more funny the ones that sit on the bleachers and bitch. So
but we need to listen to those guys that do that too. I mean, sometimes they get it right. Sometimes it's just they're going to be the same no matter what. But
well, what is amazing, a lot of these people, they get a chance to kick you, boy, they'll jump right out and kick you as hard as they can. So.
That's all right. Yeah, we're tough enough.
That's all right.
We want to hear it. Yeah. We do want to hear it. As long as it's not a physical kick, it's okay. We'll take it.
Well, I've almost had them where they wanted to physically beat me up. So
it's against the law, Carl. Don't put up with it.
Oh, I didn't. I was smart enough to walk off. Yeah. I don't like getting thumped in the head, and I don't like thumping people in the head.
Good.
Because what we're supposed to do, you're supposed to be able to say, well, you're right or you're wrong, and if you're not, we'll go talk to the judge.
You're 84, Carl. Don't.
What's that?
You're 84. Don't pull up your fist so quick, man.
well, I haven't for a long time, and I'm only 83. Don't add one.
83. Oh, okay. Well, we want to add one to it, just not today.
Hell yeah, they go quick enough.
There you go.
So, but you stop and think about it. To me, it's kind of a milestone for people to get to be 83 years old and still get around. So,
well, you're beating the odds.
Yeah, well, I'm going to keep beating them. I hope.
I appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Well, I get to beat him because I want to be able to stay around and listen to you, Russ.
well, if that's what helps out, then I'll be here for you.
Well, I don't know if to me, you spread the word a lot for a lot of you helped the Tea Party out a lot.
Yeah,
just for what you do.
I hope so.
And I know I seen you down there at the Ocean Park, the first Tea Party.
Oh gosh, I am seated, man. We had live bands. We had 10 speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an event. I went and got the permits for that. I had to go to the city and get a permit.
Yeah.
And they asked me how many people, and I said I don't know, maybe 500. She said, well, that'll be like $200 or something. I said what? Says yeah, anything over 150 people, we got to start charging. I said well, did I say 200? I meant 140 because I really didn't know. I mean, I thought we may have less than 100 people. I thought I was being generous to say 500, like I was like expecting a big crowd. I wasn't. I don't think anybody was. Yeah. And then to have thousands, I mean, we had a couple thousand people out there. That was a surprise to everybody. It was a surprise to me.
Well, just so people can understand how many people were there, the police were at the San Carlos Hotel running people out of there for parking there and going to the.
Yes.
That's because I was called by the police to move my car because that's where I had to park it.
Yes, they were.
Clear by this, so that's really to people, and you want to know that's how big it was. I mean, It was huge.
Oh, it was a fun time. And there was a lot of people that were concerned, and we need that passion and that feeling like we need to make a difference back, because that's what made a difference. It made a difference in the elections back then. Big difference across
Yeah,
the country. Obama lost like what 50 House members or something.
something like
People were
that.
not liking it. And we
No,
and that's and believe me, Trump's aware of that, and he's aware of everything, and that's why the sensitivity of this gas price. But he's still doing his job. He's still taking care of the country. And if that means he's got to go after Iran, and that's going to hurt the gas prices a little bit, he's scrambling to figure out how to get that taken care of. Of course, some oil's going to be coming out of Venezuela. He's already released more oil drilling and everything in the United States, but that's not going to take effect in this quickly. It's not going to be there. It just isn't. And he needs more. And maybe that was that phone call to Russia. I'd heard rumors that it had something to do with oil, the possibility of releasing some of the sanctions on oil, but I don't know that. I haven't read that yet. I heard it through some places that may or may not be factual. But it would make sense for the stock market to do well after that phone call. I don't know.
well, we're back to the art of the deal, aren't we?
Yeah,
Anyway,
I can't keep track of it. Dow Jones is down 571 today, and it's been topsy turvy. Past 5 days is down 788, and that all has to do with Iran and all that, probably.
you know what'd be nice if Edward would talk to you and kind of explain what the heck's going on, because
no,
I
I can't take it. No.
can't.
Edward's too hard on me, man.
Oh well, maybe, well, I'd rather have him hard on you than some of the other people I know.
Yeah, it's not unlike him
And
to just text me and say,
yeah,
"Stop talking because you're not getting it right."
okay. But yeah, last before I go, I want to say I have about 500 Trump 47 buttons I'm going to be giving away at the fair. So people stop by and grab one, because you won't see them anymore after this.
Thank you, man. Be good.
You have a very good day, my friend, and thank you for stepping up and make sure everything works good.
Quite welcome. I'm here, man. Take care.
Yeah. We need you. Bye.
As Mr. Carl, that's you've seen it. And just looking at the Dow Jones since 24, basically, it's up somewhere around $14,000 since 24. I mean, even though it's been down this last couple weeks, we're up that much, but it is taken it down today. Past 5 days, it's down 788, and it's gone down a little bit. So yeah, they're still nervous, and it's a fact. We'll talk about it for sure. We're not going to hide that. This isn't the left wing press at all. Carl mentioned something that reminded me of one of the stories, and that says, he doesn't want to get into physical altercation and all that stuff. Well, there was a lady on an airplane that felt differently. She was on a flight that I think it was going to Atlanta out of Puerto Rico. Yeah, it left Puerto Rico on a Frontier airplane going to Atlanta, and it was at 30,000 feet. And this lady, an Ebony Shitera Harper, 31 years old, says she's 4'11". So I tell you, being 4'11" would be nice, because the seats are so small in the planes. Probably would fit you if you were 4'11". But anyway, she was walking to the back of the plane, to go visit the restroom or something, and she leaned her body onto a Jimmy Lee Baker. Jimmy Lee Baker, and he was sitting in the last row, right in the very back of the plane, in the aisle seat, and she was resting his arm on him, leaned into him, rested his arm on him, and he finally asked her, and this girl's not from Puerto Rico, she's from Alabama. She went down there on vacation or something. She said, "Move her arm back, and she didn't do it." So the wife jumps in. The wife's going to take care of the husband. Lakeisha Baker um, asked her not to do that. So this lady, Ebony, decided to reach out and start touching her in the face and him in the face. Like, and that's according to that's what the police said. It's according to police. Yeah, it gets police report because it's bad. That's why it gets in the newspaper. You got to have police report. Well, then Lakeisha struck Harper. Well, that just said Harper. I guess she didn't like being struck. And it says struck. It doesn't say touched her. It said struck her. So Harper began swinging back, at the couple sitting there. And then another passenger, Annette Baker, and they may all be related to have the same last name, tried to make peace, tried to calm it down. Harper hit her. Numerous times, closed fist, directly in the face. This lady's triggered pretty quickly. This Ebony. Plane was diverted to Miami. Said, okay, we're going to go into Miami. And we're not going to Atlanta. Going to Miami. But they put a welcoming committee there. The FBI, TSA agents, and some local police. They were waiting. Yeah, when you get the FBI, and I guess the FBI, because it was out, I don't know, it's not out of the country. I don't think. I mean, Puerto Rico's not a state, but it's territory. Well, they got welcomed by the FBI and all that. They only took Ebony Harper off the plane. And then they charged her. Felony charge of battery on a person 65 or older. And see, I didn't know that was an upgrade. That's why I'm thinking, like, they don't want to hit Carl. That'd be an upgrade. It's not just battery. It's battery of a 65-year-old. And I read that this morning. I'm thinking, does that mean I'm protected? I'm a protected person now? I think so. I think I'm protected. I'm over 65. So I'm protected. So battery of over 60 and an account of misdemeanor battery. So maybe somebody was under 65. Possibly Annette, who was the peacemaker, trying to go in and say, "Hey, don't hit my dad" or something. I don't know if they're related, but I'm making that assumption because they have the same last name and they were on the same plane. They were in the same direction, going the same way. So I feel protected this morning, and I just got a message from my listener again that wrote me because I said he still got the support of the MAGA. I said not sure the poll is, but that showed about 90% of MAGA supported the Iran attack. I'm not sure either. I did not read anything on it as far as questions asked or anything else, and then it could be a push poll, and they're always suspect. I mean, I'm not as skeptical as Dean when he comes in on Wednesday. Dean doesn't believe anything and gets it and can put his hands on it. And he says 54% of normal. Define the term normal. A normal GOP support it. I think the normal GOP right now is MAGA. I'll tell you the truth. The normal. I mean, if you just talk sheer numbers, the support of the President Trump and the Trump agenda is MAGA. Independents do not support it. I haven't read the results of independents at all. I can do that. If I took breaks, I don't take breaks anymore. As whole, Trump is underwater with voters who might support him. I don't believe that. That's not the polls I've seen. Even if we increase oil production will not help. That's true. Because you can't do it. Well, you can do some of it faster. Some of it where the wells already exist were shut down, or they opened up the rules on fracking and stuff like that, and the infrastructure is already in place, possibly. Most of the refiners are not set up to process like crude. Okay, I was going to cover that anyway today, and I'll get back to that. Venezuela needs to replace its hardware. U.S. oil companies are reluctant to invest in the country at this moment. I don't know. I do know that the U.S. companies have made deals. U.S. companies have been given opportunities to take back what was theirs and to expand it. I got the impression that everything was set up. Now, whether or not they've already opened up the door to do that now, and yes, Venezuela needs to replace hardware, a lot of it. That's why their capacity is so low, but the capacity is still there. They're still pumping oil. I don't remember how much, but it's significant. It's a fraction of what it used to be and what it's capable of. So a lot of that hardware needs to be replaced. A lot of those wells need to be rejuvenated. But the ones that are pumping are still pumping. I haven't read anything that says U.S. oil companies are reluctant to invest. I'm sure they're excited about the opportunity. I don't doubt they might be hesitant. But I think right now under Trump, the protections and everything in place. And if they were hesitant, thinking this is only under Trump, and if the Dems take over, I'm going to lose everything again. But I certainly didn't get that vibe or didn't get that understanding. I mean, they seem to be excited because they lost billions of dollars when Venezuela stole it all from them. Venezuela went in there and invested in that country and invested in all that equipment, under the understanding that they get the oil that they did, and they pay royalties like they do everywhere, like they pay everywhere. You get royalties. You pay the country. They were making tons of money. Just like these other foreign countries got rich, Saudi Arabia and all those guys, they got all these royalties and became wonderfully wealthy. Well, Venezuela was at the same time until somebody decides we would make even more if we stole it all from them, come communists and kick them out. That's what they did. And it's fun for a while until you realize you have no talent, don't know how to run it, and it starts depleting and it starts going down. The amount of oil that you're extracting is reducing. It's all fun until then. That's when you realize that governments can't do everything. You need private enterprise if you really want to be outrageously successful. And yes, now getting back to the light crude stuff, that is a fact. In fact, we have a backlog of some light crude. I mean, of some of the oil that comes out of the United States. In fact, let me read an article on that. I saw one this morning that Trump is touting right now. There's a new refinery that's going to be built. I say going, they haven't even broke ground yet. Going to be built in Brownsville, Texas. That is the first U.S. plant that's new, brand new refinery built in nearly 50 years. That doesn't mean a lot of these plants that were already existing weren't modified, expanded, and all that kind of stuff. That's true. But this is the first new one, ground up. It's not easy. It hasn't been easy with all the government regulation, the hatred of oil, the new green deals that the Democrats have been pushing to clamp down, to stop productions. Under Biden, that could have never happened. It would not have happened. I feel very confident in that, just saying it would never have happened. But Trump announced Tuesday that the America First Refining, AFR, it's opening its first new oil plant in nearly half a century, situated in a massive deep water foreign trade zone. It's going to leverage advanced infrastructure, strategic rail, sea connections to transport low carbon fuels and other energy products. Trump says America's returning to real energy dominance. Now, this thing is going to take 36 months approximately to build before you get your first drop of oil. 36 months. I mean, California can shut them down in a few weeks. It's going to take 36 months to build a new one. That's a long time. We're actually using less oil in the United States, less refined oil in the United States than we were years ago. I mean, it's declined to, more some alternatives on production of power and some, cars and all those kind of things, and they add up, better mileage, fewer miles driven. I don't know what all's causing it, but we do. And if you look at some of the charts that were built years ago on when we're going to run out of oil, and there was always that fear hanging over us, we'd never have enough oil. which is ridiculous. We've got enough for hundreds of years, but they would show the charts on what today's use is and how much is going to be that every year after. And these long charts that showed that oil consumption being exploding higher and higher and higher. It doesn't. It actually goes down slightly. We actually become better at it. And oil does a lot more than just power, plastics and all kinds of stuff. But he said this is a historic, and this is Trump speaking, this is a historic $300 billion deal, the biggest in the U.S. history. A massive win for American workers, energy, and the great people of South Texas. Thousands of construction and permanent jobs, offering wages that exceed market averages. Yeah, I imagine it does. But those jobs, I mean, are wonderful jobs, but they're demanding, tough, and dangerous. No question. That's why they pay well. Now, interesting. This is with partners in India. Trump went on this deal looking for investments, getting people, and that's tariffs helped and everything else, and getting investments in the United States, get money, and then he's had trillions of dollars promised, and of course that doesn't come in overnight. It comes in over time, and commitments get filled. Hopefully, this is part of that. Reliance made a tremendous investment in the project. That's the company. It's also signed a binding 20-year offtake term sheet with a global super major. The company plans to formally break ground on the new refinery in second quarter of 2026. It's because of our America First agenda, streamlining permits, which was hugely important because elected officials can start running the EPA and start putting administrators in there that start putting in policies and rules that Congress never voted on, and making everything tough. A new refinery at the port of Brownsville will fuel U.S. markets, strengthen our national security, boost America energy production, and deliver billions of dollars in economic impact. And this will be the cleanest refinery in the world. I believe that because technology keeps changing and the old refineries are old. It will power global exports, bring thousands of long overdue jobs and growth to a region that deserves it. This is why American energy dominance looks like America First always. It's a 1.2 billion barrels of U.S. light shale oil will be purchased and processed under this agreement. Value of $125 billion. I don't know how 1.2 billion becomes a value. Okay. They'll produce 50 billion gallons of refined product, a value of 175 billion. Oh, it's 1.2 barrels, not a dollar. Okay, at $125 billion, it's going to produce 175 billion in refined products, and U.S. trade imbalance will improve by $300 billion. And it says U.S. trade imbalance. Well, if we're energy independent, how can it improve? Well, here's why, and the caller wrote about it. It said from 2014 to 2024, U.S. exported nearly 10 billion barrels of crude. At the same time, we imported 28 billion barrels. This is over the last 10 years. And that costs the consumers 1.8 trillion, versus just using our own crude right here. Well, the reason we can is that the American light shale oil is not oil that the current refineries, or most of them, can process. The oil refineries in the United States were built so long ago, they were built for the oil that's coming in that's imported, and it's got a different viscosity or whatever. It's a different grade of oil. Nothing wrong with it. They all work. It's just that it would have to be that these refineries would have to be reworked to process it. It's not designed for that. So we ship a lot of the oil we pull out of the ground to other countries to be processed because we don't have our refineries designed and calibrated to do the oil that comes out of America lands, the shale oil. We don't have it. So this new refinery will not require imported crude. Strengthens U.S. national and economic security. I agree, and hopefully we get more of those. We get more of those, but it's going to take 3 years to build it. Once you get everything done, and it looks like this one's done. They're going to break ground the second quarter of this year. So just in a few months, they're going to break ground. Well, because we can't process it, we actually have a lot of the oil sitting here. We do have a backlog of some of the oil um, sitting here. Um, so it's going to be a win-win, and it's going to save us money because it costs a lot of money to load it up on ships and ship it out, and then load up more oil overseas and ship it here. Why not just refine the oil we have? Well, we can if we had the refineries to do it, and obviously Trump understands that, and that's why it's so important to put that shovel in the ground and get this one going. It just makes us better as a country that we don't have to swap oil in order to get refineries working on it. So that's actually a good thing. They go on to talk a lot about the chairman and all that kind of stuff. Uh, John V. Clance, he's the chairman and founder of America First Refining, says for the first time in half a century, the United States will build a new refinery designed specifically for American shale oil. Thanks to President Trump's leadership and the resources of an American First energy policy, we are creating thousands of high quality jobs while, while ensuring more of our nation's energy resources are refined here at home in the cleanest, most efficient refinery on the planet. CEO Trey Griggs added that the U.S. has surplus of light shale oil and a shortage of refining capacity designed to process it. It's not that we can't process it. Well, they can. We can. We just don't have enough refineries to refine what we have. We didn't used to produce that much. We used to get most everything offshore, and that requires a different kind of refining process somehow, some kind of change in the way they're doing it. He says, by building this refinery in Brownsville, we're unlocking a major expansion of American energy production while creating thousands of high paying jobs and strengthening our domestic supply chain. So that's all. That's all good news. I'm going to take a break, and we'll be right back. AM 5. No, it's not. I'm going to keep saying that. Well, before I take a break, then let me tell you, I just chatted with Derek a little bit just to find out where we stand on the signal. Getting the AM 560 signal, and nothing is done yet as far as finished. It isn't. It's not finished. But I'm very pleased to hear the progress being made, and there's some verbal uh, deals going on that I guess have been agreed to, and they're working out the details. So it's gonna be a good thing. I'm very, very positive about it. We'll be right back. Live from Mortgage One Studios, Russ Clark back with you, and I'm joined, I guess, by Chris
Yeah.
Larson.
Yeah.
Let me get the cameras changed.
Yeah. Alarms are more effective when you turn them on.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
You figured that out?
Yeah. And then you get used to going one direction on the road all the time.
Now, this mic you have to be much closer to, just the way it's set up.
Okay.
Yeah, just like you're eating it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to hear. On the microphones. And went and got off on the wrong exit. Because I never come this way to get to where we are now. So
you don't usually come down 16th Street
No.
all the way down into the valley here?
No, so I got off on 3E. That's my usual exit to go to things in town, and I'm like, it's the wrong exit, and so I had to do a little maneuvering to get back over 16.
But you figured it out. Now
I got here.
You live closer to the foothills.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's worth the trip in because this is nice. This is nice digs.
I was looking around just now during your commercial break with no commercials, and
Commercial break.
this is a really cool studio. I like this a lot. It's like
It is.
It's like a legit thing.
Oh yeah. And he built it years ago because he was doing podcasts and stuff.
Really?
Yeah. So he did it all. He did it all for that.
A leader in
But
podcast, apparently.
The equipment in here is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Between the mics, the cameras, and everything he's put in here is just like wow.
Well, he's got 2 different interview
areas. Yeah. We sitting here at the round
Very-
table, but there's the lounge chairs.
Yeah.
Over there, a couple lounge chairs.
This is really cool. I like this a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we may try that someday. Go there to lounge chairs where we relax.
It'd be a different feel. Different. Yeah, it would. It would have a different
Absolutely.
atmosphere to it. So
Yeah. Right now, we'll just use it for people that are in here waiting to come on the air or something, I guess.
Oh yeah, like a green room.
Yeah. Well, it's not a separate room. We can stare at them.
Right.
Yeah.
Like. Could probably even get everybody involved at the same time if you wanted to.
Yeah. We could.
This is really neat. I like this a lot.
Yeah. And I was just when you came in, I was signing off, so I could take a quick break. But the getting the signal back.
Yeah, I was thinking you were telling me about that yesterday on your
Yeah.
voicemail.
Well, and I stay in touch with Derek. I check occasionally. I'm not involved in any of that. I'm not on that team to bias the station or anything. But I'm really interested. I don't bug him much, but I asked him.
So what's
It's all
happening?
good.
So when's it
Well, I don't know. I don't know. But he couldn't tell me exactly. But he does. But it is moving forward. The conversations, agreements are moving forward. Things have come to the point where he's ready to take it to a lawyer just to look over some of the stuff. So that's always a good sign.
Yeah. Dotting
when you
the
get to that
T's
point.
and crossing the I's.
Yeah, there's so much because look, it's federally regulated.
Yeah.
It's FCC stuff. So.
And now I was wondering, has there been any ramifications for not broadcasting because they're required to broadcast?
Yes, that's interesting, and I don't know details. I mean I've read some of the FCC requirements, but if you have a station and you're going to have to pull the plug or turn it off for some reason,
You're supposed to tell them.
you have 10 days after, which I thought you'd have to tell them before, but 10 days, maybe that's set up for like, maybe you had an earthquake, natural disaster, and it's off air and you got to tell them, hey, we're off air. Well, this was a voluntary turn off. And they still, I guess, what I read was 10 days, but of course I'm not an expert on it. I haven't read a lot of details. And then you can have up to 12 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 12 months to rectify it.
But I'm sure that depends on why you're off in the first place.
Well, it states that. It says that can be changed or modified based on circumstances.
Right.
Well, circumstances, I pulled the plug because I'm never going to go on air again, I think is a different circumstance
Than an earthquake.
or something. Knocked me off the air, or we had a fire in the building or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That
I don't know. I've not been involved in any of those conversations. That's a company out of California that's running that, and don't know what they
So
have.
they're completely out of human now.
Mhm.
Wow.
Well, their only footprint in Yuma was actually the 560.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, the
Well, it
whole all
was
3
all 3 of
stations.
them,
Yeah, all 3 stations. KTTI, which has been sold.
which is interesting because Yuma is one of the, is a fast growing area. You'd
Yeah.
think if you'd want to be in an area, you'd want to be here because everyone's flying out of California.
We
You know,
we, uh, we don't know what K-Love, and I think, that's been reported anyway,
right?
that K-Love has purchased these things. We don't
I
know.
haven't noticed a change at all
There hasn't
on
been
those
one.
2 stations.
Hasn't been one to my knowledge. And I don't know what deal's made with them and what deal, is gonna work. I have no idea. I would imagine it gets tougher to sell advertising when you don't have any salesmen.
Yeah, I've been listening to the radio since all this has been
Yeah,
happening and waiting for something to change. Nothing's changed.
all
So
same.
so the K Love, it must be all completely
I have
computerized.
no idea. It's a bigger business. I looked them up on the internet, and they're religious stations,
Yeah.
and they're in quite a few states. They're pretty good size. I have no idea what their programs are as far as if it's local, if it's outside, or if they're going to keep the signals in Yuma. They don't necessarily have to.
Well, because
Clear Channel tried to move 560 to Vegas at one time.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah
I
you
wouldn't
know,
move, so they no, it had nothing to do with me.
the music that's playing, the ads, the community service stuff. It's all exactly the same as it was before K Love bought it. So
Right, that's all.
and there's no people in the building here in Yuma at least. So
The buildings,
somebody
the buildings,
it must just be on autopilot,
the buildings sold, from what I understand,
right? Last week when I
but
went by,
they got to be out.
you could see the computers were on through the windows,
Okay,
but otherwise there's nothing
well,
out there.
I think they got to be out by the end of the month. I don't know, but those stations, I don't know if there's an agreement. Like I said, I'm not involved in any of
Yeah.
it. So whoever bought the building may say, well, you can keep them here for whatever. I mean, anything's possible. I don't know.
I'm
I
curious now, what does it cost to buy a radio station?
I don't know. So what's it cost to buy a car? It's going to depend on the car. It's
Yeah,
gonna,
yeah.
I have no idea. I'm not. One time when I was there working for Clear Channel 20 some years ago, I understood it was a multi-million-dollar
Oh yeah.
acquisition and
I
stuff.
would expect it'd be
Yeah,
a nice chunk of change. Yeah.
but not now.
That's interesting. This whole process is, you know,
Yeah,
striking my curiosity up.
yeah, mine too. And we'll find out more. And I was real curious in technology for the signal. Now the signal's being created in this building right here,
Mm,
and then it has to get to the tower. Now, the way it gets to the tower from the old building,
right.
there was an antenna in the back, a really tall one that was in the back, and then there was that big 12-foot dish on the side of the building
Yeah.
that would transmit the signal that comes from the building. I talked to Greg Wilkinson, and he was sure that when the police or the sheriff's office put a tower up, and they have their own tower out at Telegraph Pass, they just did it through fiber optics or
Oh really?
cables or fiber optics, something like that. They didn't have a microwave dish or whatever it is. No, they did it a different way.
Huh.
If it were me looking at it, I would say I like that cable idea. I don't know. It
Yeah.
somehow just seems a lot easier, but
Well,
maybe
and
it's not.
less susceptible to interference and things like
But
that.
particularly with we just had Allo lay down all this fiber optics. You would
Yep.
think you'd want to tap into something like that if you can.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not in negotiations, so I'm not making phone calls.
That's
I'm
not
not out. I'm not out there asking questions.
that's not your part of the deal.
No, no, I've got enough on my plate. I do want to be engaged in the content.
Yeah.
On the station and be able to help with that and to be able to.
Have you heard about their plans for once they have it purchased, what kind of station they want to be running?
Not in great detail at all. I mean, I heard a lot of different ideas. More local news, more local content, as well as national, because people
Yeah.
like the Glenn Becks and like Sean Hannity's and
Yeah.
stuff like that too. But but be able to get that right mix is going to be something that's going to be sit down and discussed and talk to a lot of people about.
Because under the other company, and now I completely forgot their name,
El Dorado.
Eldorado. You were the only one
Local.
Locally.
Yeah.
Everything else was
Piped in.
Just,
Piped in. It comes in on cable. Every bit of it.
That'd be cool if they opened it.
When I first started there back in the 1990s in Clear Channel, there was teams of people, but just like at the Yuma Sun. The Yuma Sun, when I first got to town, 1990s, their parking lot was jam packed.
Right.
Now there's like nobody.
Yeah. There, you go in and you see,
same with us.
You got the salespeople in the front. That's about it. There's hardly
same with El Dorado, because there used to be more people on air, more people like on the country station. Country station was always live. Jay Walker in the morning and all that. You could call him up and he'd take a phone call on air.
Yeah, I did many times.
That's been gone a long time.
Yeah, I used to.
They stopped doing that. You know what they do? Even the hosts that were local, and we're some. Michael was local and some like that stuff. They would sit down and do a 3 or 4 hour show, but all they would do is they just run tape on their voice track, so they could do a 1 hour show in 10 minutes.
Right.
So they could do
the whole week.
You could do a 5 hour show in an hour.
Yeah.
And sit down and just run through it real quick. I mean, it takes a little more time now because you're researching, you're finding what songs am I going to play and all that. But during, it used to be an hour show took an hour. You'd be on the air for an hour.
Well, and there's a woman on the radio on the river. I was sure she was local because
there have been.
She would like right now.
Oh no, she's not anymore.
Because she would reference she references local stuff.
How long has she been on?
She's on now.
But I don't know. She's been on for years.
I don't know. Well, I didn't pay attention until she mentioned something. I was like, oh, that's cool. How do I call in? I wanted to call in.
Can't call in.
And then I talked to Cindy, who said, no, she's from California.
Okay.
She broadcasts on all kinds of stations at the same time, and she just puts little clips in.
Right,
to make her sound local.
That's right. They sit in their studios and we'll fix and we'll do multiple stations, and do little clips different per many stations. But a lot of it's going to be the same when you introduce a song, or you do some trivia. That's all the same to everybody, and then you plug some local clips in for each location. You get on the internet and get some trivia or something from the local. That's what they're doing.
She does it really well.
Yeah.
I was convinced she was right around the corner.
Yeah, she's my neighbor.
But and I liked calling in, to the radio. It was cool. You tell people real quick, hey, I'm going to be on the radio.
Right.
As soon as the break's over, listen up.
Well, if I have my way here, we're going to have a lot more interaction. I would like to take the show on the road more.
Oh, that would be cool.
And part of the rationale in the past, when I would say let's go to do a restaurant, they would go to the restaurant and say it'll cost you thousands of dollars to have me out there, and I'm like, well, who gets the money? I don't get that money. I just want to do it for getting more people engaged, more go out to different venues and stuff, and of course they say, oh, we have to advertise it for 2 weeks. We have to put technicians and all that. And honestly, when I go out on the road and do a show, I don't want to. The technicians get in my way. They're just. I mean, I've had bad experiences with them in the past. They show up late. I have to help them, show them how the equipment goes together. Well, I can set up my own equipment.
As a policy, it's probably designed for people that are not you.
Correct.
That can't be their own technician.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. We'll have more flexibility here.
Yeah.
I say, I'll do it. I'll just take it, go.
And the technology these days is getting smaller and easier to deal with.
Well, yeah, but I've had boxes like this one right here. I've had boxes like this for many years. I used to do football shows, Friday night football at the high schools, and it'd be a different place. I just take it with me, and we just run it through the phone lines, and it'd be going back to the station, and the station broadcast.
Well, people are doing amazing things with just simple cell phones these days.
Correct.
So
Correct.
yeah,
And
getting
if we're
easier
going to tie it
and
into AM 560, it needs to be. It's more than that.
Well,
It-
yeah,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
but the
if we,
technology is getting easier and smaller.
yeah. Now, if
every
if
day.
if Derek buys AM 560, which I think is well on, it's
It's
looking
on its
good.
way.
It's looking good. They don't have to keep the KBLU part.
Oh no,
No,
I thought the call sign went with the station.
it used to be KYUM.
Oh really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I think so. And I think I think that could change. I don't know. What would you want to change it to is a question.
I would keep it K-Blue.
I would,
Yeah,
but
that's what everyone knows.
it's open.
It's already gone through a couple different companies anyway. So
It's gone. It's been quite a while. It's been 80 years here. Now I don't know. I don't know.
Really?
If K Blue the whole 80
You know,
years. But.
and you say 80 years, and in my brain, that's like ancient times. But
Wait, yeah,
that was just a little before I was born.
yeah, it was 80
You know,
years.
as I get older, time is is not as long as it used to be.
Yeah.
80 years ago used to be a long time ago.
But and radio's totally different. I mean, there's so many different avenues, so many things going on now that Rebecca said it was K-Sun.
Oh, was it at one point?
KSUN, maybe. I
Huh.
read K-Yum, but maybe K-Yum was one of the other stations.
Yeah.
K-Yuma, Y-U-M. K-Sun. Rebecca may have been here during those times. during K-Sun. When I got here in 95, it was KBLU.
I didn't listen to AM radio when I got here in '89, so I
Okay.
didn't know. But
Yeah, but it's had a history of different owners. It's had a history of bouncing around.
mhm.
I mean, it doesn't stay exactly the same. It's been in different buildings.
It's always been packaged up with the FM stations, though.
No, I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. Not necessarily. It used to be packaged up with a TV station.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it used to be a TV station. And
The,
Lou Dobbs was the voice of K Blue for many years.
Hmm.
Oh, Rebecca says for a new idea. She's trying to tell me she's not old.
K-Sun.
K-Sun would be cool.
Would be a cool one.
I like
okay,
it.
I see. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, okay. Rebecca's not old. I'm sorry for
that.
I didn't mean to say that. Yeah, that's a lot of ideas, and
There's a
I'm
lot of potential in coming up for this. I think it's going to be interesting to see where it goes.
yeah, we'll see. And I would like the it was suggested at the top of the hour news.
Uh
Just let me do the whole day.
huh.
That's all recorded. I mean, it's
Right.
not. It's not like I have to be in here.
Right.
But that way, if something big happens, I can record it real quick, and just throw it on air.
Uh
Something happens, like you get a job. I could go in there and say, "Yeah, Chris got a job now."
huh.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Yeah, breaking news stuff. You could have that out there, which we don't have that capacity. Never had that capacity because we always made deals, gosh, with tons of people. I mean, it was deals with Fox News. There's deals with different news organizations, deals with local news
hmm
that would write or do the news, the top of the hour news. But they always fell apart. They always would work out to begin with, and then they wouldn't do it, or we'd be playing the same one 3 days later. They wouldn't change it. They wouldn't do it.
I always thought it was like a national piped in thing.
The one we were doing last was.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
that was Fox News 3 hour minute. You can
Right.
buy that. They'll do it and then sell it to everybody.
I see.
They can do that. But I like it better if it'd be local. That
Mhm.
doesn't mean national news isn't mentioned.
Right. Right.
But-
But local news matters a little bit more to people, I think. They're like, oh, I didn't know that was
Well, if it's
happening.
tied in there, you feel closer to it for
Yeah.
sure. And all politics is local.
Yeah.
Even if it's Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So you want to mention it all. MMA fights
hmm
coming up next week. Did you know that?
No, I don't follow it. I find it interesting when
I mean, here in
when
Yuma.
it's on, but I don't look.
It's
look
in
for
Yuma.
information, so that's cool.
Yeah, it's going to be over at the Civic Center. Just want to mention that in a week. Next Saturday, it's going to be over there. So I'll mention that. Something else is going to be this weekend, though, that I need to mention. Is, not this weekend. It's next week. It's Lincoln Day dinner.
Lincoln Day dinner. Yeah.
So I want to, and I want to make sure I got the right date. Is it Thursday?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I'm sure it
I
is.
still need to get the ticket.
You better get them
Yeah, I
because they're
need to
sold
buy
out
'em.
almost. Yeah, Thursday the 19th, Lincoln Day dinner.
Yeah, so I need to do that like today.
It is getting. I mean, they're down to just a dozen.
Yeah. I don't care who I sit with, so
My
I just
table's
need to
full. I
eat.
bought a table.
All of a sudden your table's full. Wow.
My table's full. Sorry.
It will be by the time I get there.
No.
Chris walks in. See, everyone's here.
But that's going to be Thursday, and then it's going to be over to Britton Farms again, and which is great.
Yeah, I like that facility. It's really cool. You got the open area. We can do all kinds of stuff, and then the back area. Excuse me.
Let me see. Sandy wrote me that conservatives who attend church weekly are the least likely to have been diagnosed with a mental health condition.
Huh. That's interesting.
Liberals who have low attendance are most likely to have a diagnosis. And there have been surveys on that before that I've read about just general happiness.
Just
just general like
churchgoers tend to have benefits of all kinds, health, mental.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if they've done, and it would be hard to do a study with comparing conservatives to liberals because people identify themselves all kinds of different ways. But it's easier to say, do you attend church or not?
Well, yeah, you can't just say, are you a Christian? Because everybody says they're a Christian.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there. I'm like,
I was one of them.
I'm not sure.
I was one of them. I didn't have time for church.
You can make time if you, but
yeah, Tanya Wright asked if she could call in.
No, not her.
Yeah, I did. She did. Yes, yeah. And I said yes. Did I misspeak?
No. Tanya'd be great to call in.
Absolutely.
She's always got something to talk about.
She's
a mover and shaker.
Well, she's done a lot. Let me see. Oh, wait a minute.
See, you got your clock visible now, easily visible.
Oh.
But now you don't have a computer cutting in on
you.
We never
put the batteries in the old clock, so it wasn't always the right time.
Well, and you always had to crane your neck to see it in the studio.
Yeah. Yeah, he's nicer to us. The reason I mentioned a MMA fighter, it was a story about an MMA fighter, or at least somebody that was a trained MMA fighter that had an incident in Florida.
Okay.
He was at the Ocala car wash on Sunday night. Him and his brother. The brother, one of them was 18 years old, 18-year-old MMA trained, and he's a military. He's already signed up for the military.
Okay.
MMA trained. And his 16-year-old brother, they were closing the car wash that night. And according to officials, now when you get officials in there, that's why it's a story on it.
Right.
There's already officials.
Please, somebody picked the wrong people to mug.
Said that a gentleman approached the car wash, came down to say hello or something, and he didn't look like a
typical car wash customer.
Yeah, he didn't. There was no cars to be washed at that point. They were closing up. He says he was asked to leave the property, and that's when he became irate. He said, "No, you were closed up. You got to leave," and all that stuff. And he said, and the brothers approached him in a threatening manner.
Okay.
With an axe. Did I say axe?
You didn't mention that until now.
Yeah, axe is important. With an axe. And I saw the video on this, and it didn't take very long. I mean, the confrontation only lasted seconds. And he was taken out, and it was this Leo Dan Pino, 18 years old. He said, I was locking up all the doors, and I heard some screaming somewhere yelling his name. He says he's obviously not in his right state of mind. He walked up through the tunnel, and that's when I met him. You have to leave. You have to leave. You got to leave. And that's when they pulled an axe that was clipped to his backpack and pointed it at him. He just take the axe and
he was intentional.
Say, this is for you.
Right.
This axe. Well, this guy says he says his younger brother yanked the axe away from him. Now, I guess the guy pointed, one of them yanked it. He says once he lowered That's when I took the takedown. I got on top of him. I controlled the situation. Yeah, it was like bam, bam, bam. Yeah, but that's when you're trained.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Right.
If he's 18, he's going in the military. He was trained. He says, once I realized he wasn't letting go, that's when I threw a couple elbows until he was incapacitated. I got him to his back, put him in a body triangle. And there's no referees in this.
Right.
He's on his own, this guy.
But I like how he didn't just respond and subdue the guy. He applied all these various moves.
Yeah. Well, then he held a rear naked choke on him and waited for the cops to get there.
That's funny.
Now this
I love hearing this story. You picked the wrong guy to mess.
Who would have thought these little kids, this Bruce Thayer, he's a 36-year-old guy, with a backpack and an axe. His mugshot showed heavy bruising to the face. You think?
That's precious. I love that.
Heavy bruising to the face. And according to Pino, the guy who recently enlisted in the military, says, well, he got what he deserved.
Yeah, he did.
Well, approaching a couple kids with an axe in the middle of the night, that's a scary deal.
Yeah.
2 counts of felony aggravated assaults with a deadly weapon without intent to kill. How do they know it's without intent? How do they know his mind?
Yeah. Well, and that's always been an issue. How do you prove intent? But I don't know. If you show up and point an axe at somebody,
I take that as intent.
Yeah, I would think so.
You get shot in a lot of places for that.
Yeah. Well, if they did kill him, they'd be able to say
pointed an axe, and it's on video. Yeah. And possession of drug paraphernalia. Who knew there'd be drugs involved?
That's gives
who knew that?
To the
he's held on $11,000 bond. 4th time he's been arrested since May of 24. Believe it or not.
Actually, I do believe it. I knew a guy that was a student at the college with me. Older guy, had spent some time in prison, and was turning his life around. And we'd talk, and he said, there's guys that would rather be in prison because that's the life they know. They don't have major responsibilities. That's where they're comfortable. They get outside and they don't know what to do, and they just want to get back in. And there's guys that serial offenders.
It's a lot of pressure, a lot of big adjustments to life. I understand, and people that have had, prison can't be fun and wonderful.
No.
But I guess after being there for a while, the outside gets scary.
Yeah.
That's why they have rehab and other places, other things available and all that. And
halfway house.
Getting back integrated has got to be tough. Because,
I'm sure it is.
You can't just fill out an application the next day. So what's your work history? Well, I've spent the last 15 years. That's tough.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I mean, there's people that can help. There's people that can do it. And there's communities that are going to help and support and do all that. But your mindset's got to be that you're going to receive it.
Yeah, it's any dramatic change is hard.
I would think so.
People getting out of the military need help transitioning to civilian life.
You know what the military does now, though, which I kind of like. In your last 6 months, once you say I'm retiring, when you hit that it's going to be in 6 months, they let you leave right there with full pay to go work at a private business and still pay you your full pay. It's just like an internship.
I didn't know that they were doing that. When I got out, you could use your they call it the terminal leave. If you had a bunch of leave set up, you could leave and just
No, this is some kind of internship that my son was going to do with me because when come here and work at the shop, Precision, and then make up his mind what he wants to do. It doesn't mean he's going to stay there,
right?
But just get reacclimated to civilian life and. Not realizing when you tell somebody to do something, they salute you and say, yes, sir. I don't think I've ever been saluted ever, anything like that.
No, but I encountered that when I was working at the hospital. I was out for the weekend or something or another, and then come back into work. And the first thing I see, because they changed management while I was out, I walk in and somebody says, I wanted that over there yesterday. Like, okay. And I went about and did it. Turns out she had been the manager at the chow hall on base and was used to saying something, and it happens
right,
immediately. And so I did it immediately. We were best buds. because we got along with that way. Everyone else hated her because she was, this needs to
Not
be done
personable.
now. No, she was there to
Just
get
she
the
was
job
business.
done. Yeah. And we hung out, we'd smoke, take smoke breaks together, and we were good
How
to go.
dare you smoke?
No, this was back when it was cool. I don't understand people that start smoking now, but at the time, that was the cool thing to do. So
Yeah.
you didn't get a smoke break unless you smoked, so it was worth it at the time.
I gotta tell Tanya what my but she has my cell phone. She texts me. My cell phone is
Yeah.
okay.
It's the same phone number.
Yeah.
And when you
didn't call it.
broadcast it the other day, I double checked. Is that the same number? I said, yeah, it's the same.
Well, it's temporary. We'll eventually
Yeah.
put in some hard lines.
I was told my wife about it. I was like, at some point, it's going to be out there too much, and he's not going to like that. But maybe he'll get a separate phone number.
Well, that was the intent anyway,
Yeah.
because I use my cell phone the whole time I'm on air. Somebody says something, I get
Right.
I jump on it right.
Yeah,
quick.
but it used to be just people you knew that had your cell phone. Now,
No, I
everyone has it.
always gave it out on the air.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Even at cable?
Even
Because you
cable.
always gave
Oh,
the studio number when I was.
well, for call-ins.
Yeah.
But I always, if somebody wanted to call me, say, "Wait, call me after work. Let me give you my cell phone number, but don't tell anybody." So I always gave it out. All my business cards always had my cell phone, even when I was a county supervisor. And they all thought I was nuts. The supervisor says,
Right.
"Man, you are asking for trouble."
I give my.
I said, "No,
number to
I'm
everybody.
asking for people to contact me."
Yeah.
I didn't get. I mean, it was not misused or mishandled. I mean, I didn't have people calling me every night at 2.
Right.
And I did one night. A lady called me at 2 in the morning, and she was in the foothills, and we'd been struggling with a lot of waste odor there, with that far west water.
Right.
And she said, it's happening right now. So I got to put on my blue jeans, and my wife says, "What are you doing?"
So you went to check it out?
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I jumped in my truck, ran right over there. I knocked on a lady's door. She said, "I can't believe you came over here." I said, "I can't believe you called."
That's funny.
Ended up, it was not far west water. What it was, somebody decided at 2 in the morning to illegally dump their RV tank in a sewer system
Ugh.
in the middle of the road. Took off the heavy plate in the middle of the road, dumped the sewer system right there. And of course, it's all open air at that point,
Right.
and it just woke this lady up. She says, "Wow, this neighborhood smells bad."
Yeah, it's nasty.
And that's what happened. It wasn't even far west, but I'd have never known that if I didn't get up and put on my blue jeans.
That's interesting.
And that's something.
Yeah, I give my number to my students, and I tell them, there's not a lot that you would have to call your professor for, and that's an emergency. But if it happens,
Sure.
call me. But otherwise, text or email would be fine.
I
And then the other day, I got a call in the evening. Hey, I'm not going to be there tomorrow. I was polite. I was nice, but I suggest text, email would be fine for this. Now, because ultimately, I'll know you're not there when you're not there. I really don't need you to give me a heads up.
kind of figured it out.
Most people are like, I don't really, and especially this generation. This generation doesn't call people anyway. They
Text.
Yeah, they text,
Wow.
they Snapchat or whatever all those other ones are. They just don't call anymore.
Yeah.
And I'll call my kids and I think they'll answer maybe, but then they'll say, "Hey, why didn't you do such and such? I didn't know you wanted me to. I texted you." Well, if the text
You
has
don't read the text.
well, I do, but the notification on a text is a little bleep.
Yeah.
A phone, when you call me, it will ring and it will ring until I answer it, or it goes
Or
to
throw it
voicemail.
against the wall
I
or
have
something. Yeah.
a much more robust notification when you're calling me.
All right.
So if you really want to make sure you can connect with me, call me. And I tell you that all the time, and they just
I should have called
they
you this
just
morning.
don't. It would have helped
because you didn't set your alarm. You know
I
who's
set the alarm. I just didn't turn it on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was set exactly when I wanted.
So you didn't complete the job.
No.
All right.
And it's just weird. I set it every night. Even if I don't have anything to get up for in the morning, I set
Do you
it
have a
every
separate
night
alarm
and
from
turn
your
it on.
from your cell phone? You don't use your
Yeah.
cell.
No, I don't have my cell phone's in a different room. I don't bring it
My
in my bedroom.
cell phone is 100% everything. my alarm is in my cell phone. So I set it once
Mhm.
and it's good for weeks
Yeah, I
because I
still
get up
have-
at the same time every day.
I still have one of those old school radio alarms.
Wow.
I've been using it for probably 30 years.
Okay.
It's just never gonna die.
If it works, it works.
Yeah, my cell phone is almost always in my hand, but I don't bring it into our bedroom. That's for me. That's a barrier that I don't want.
I have no
cell phone.
barriers. But if I get a call at 2 a.m, I'm going to answer it.
I can hear it. It's if it rings, I can hear it and I can go deal with it.
Yeah.
And if it 2 a.m, somebody
I don't have a
probably
house
needs
phone.
me
We used to have that house phone. It was-
Yeah. we don't need them.
Nobody wants that 3 o'clock in the morning phone call, but
Right.
you'd answer it. You're like, yeah, what's going on?
It was weird finally giving up on that house phone because you feel like I have a direct line, literally a direct line to communication with the outside world, and I'm going to give that up and just trust this cellular.
I haven't had one
magic.
I haven't had one in a long time. I mean, everything's through the cell phone. I mean, I take it right with me.
Yeah.
You know who Abby Phillips is on CNN?
Nope.
Horrible lady. She had to make some corrections because she got some things wrong. Now you heard about this Mandani thing where there was a protester out in front of the mansion
throwing the bombs,
saying that we should not allow Muslim prayer or something.
I didn't hear anything about what he said.
That's what he was. He was kind of a
ISIS
nothing
inspired is what
nothing that I would have joined in on.
Right.
Like, really, you're going to stop prayer?
Right.
Like, we shouldn't have Muslim prayer.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to join Muslim prayer, but
Exactly.
I'm not going to say, well, it's illegal for you to have it in public. That's kind of a weird stance.
Well, people have been saying that about Christian prayer too.
Sure.
So it's not too far fetched.
Well, apparently that attracted some wannabe terrorists, to throw a bomb.
Oh, I thought those were the guys you were talking about.
Oh, no, the guys that I'm talking about were Muslim guys that didn't like the protest. They were anti-protesters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they came. Oh, and the reason you're confused, and let me tell you why.
Mike Dovey.
Well, let me take Mike first.
Okay.
You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Russ.
Well, good morning, Mike.
I'd like to get back to the Iran situation.
Okay.
This oil crisis, the price of gasoline going up here in our state, is that because of Trump doing what he's supposed to do to keep the nuclear capability out of Iran, or is that because of California closing all of the?
It's right now. The immediate result was because of what's going on in Iran.
Yeah,
and that's it's hitting the whole country, and it's hitting average gas prices in the whole country, and I think that average is about the same for us as it is in Georgia. So it really hasn't had the effect from California yet.
Well, it certainly is. We are certainly going to be affected for the next, probably rest of the year because of California, don't you think? I mean, even if this thing in Iran didn't happen, we would be affected by the what's going on in California, don't you think?
Yes. The thing going on in California with the shutting down of the refineries is going to affect us. We were getting a lot of the gas in Yuma, all the gas in Yuma, I think, was coming out of California refineries. And that's going to have to be shifted to other refineries, which is going to cause more transportation costs and stuff. So, yeah, it's going to affect us.
Why does Arizona need the special blend?
Because the Arizona legislature said we did.
Uh-huh.
That's it. It's up to the state.
Right.
And it's so ridiculous. Like, everybody wants to, well, we like what they're doing, but we want to add this or do this, or we think a different percentage of this. And then these refineries have got to go to the mixologist and say a different order for Yuma, which means it's just more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. Here's my complaint.
Okay.
You know, the taxpayer goes to work 9 to 5 every day, whatever shift they work, to pay their taxes in April. and we pay people who are call themselves congressmen and senators and governors on a state and federal level, and we think that they're taking care of us. Yeah, we find out they haven't done a damn thing for us, because the fact that Arizona does not have oil refineries I think is criminal. The fact that the Republican Party does not have the wherewithal, the foresight to anticipate California and leave us unprotected, I think is criminal.
Well, they're all talking about it now.
Yeah.
That conversation.
Let's take that statement. They're talking about it now. Are we going to wait until Arizona runs out of water before we start talking about how it takes too long to make a water desalination plant?
The answer to that question by observation is yes.
Yeah.
And it's crazy unfortunate. Yes.
Are we going to react to when Qatar does have its city, the first time an American girl goes out with a Muslim and it happens to go through Qatar, does something wrong, and they have a public stoning on American soil? Is that when we're going to do something about the Muslim city of Qatar?
Well, if that happens, that's a crime and it'll be taken care of immediately. And I don't care if they say, well, we're Sharia law. That's impossible, because...
But what I'm saying, sir, is the fact that let's have some foresight here.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are living in Phoenix and you take that stupid train, that's at least 2 oil refineries.
I've never been on it, but no, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think somebody's not paying attention to the important things when we're not focusing on what we need to do. Yeah.
And so let me ask you a question.
Sure.
The other gentleman there. You think we're looking at World War III with this Iran thing?
No.
Thank you.
Yeah. And because it would have already ignited that. And in fact, the countries in the Gulf states, it would be the supporters of Iran because of, everyone thinks, well, they're Muslim, all Muslims will be together.
No, they're not.
They're not. In fact, they're kind of helping right now, but they don't do it as publicly. In fact, it's frustrating Trump. Like what they say behind the doors and what they say publicly is different because, for whatever reasons. But they're helping now. Saudi Arabia and a lot of them are all helping.
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The Congress hasn't given him the green light to declare war yet.
No,
he hasn't asked for it.
Right.
But he has that one act gives him 60 days before he has to ask for it.
But it's not so much asking for permission, it's asking for funding. Government, he has a certain amount of leeway that he can control the military, but when he runs out of money, he has to go to Congress.
There is a clock running that he can't perform.
But it's usually money that is
but the clock is permission. And he, I don't think he's asked for it. I don't think he's expecting it to last 60 days.
No.
But that's what I'm saying. So all these people that are crying about World War III, Victor Hansen of all people.
No, he doesn't, does he?
Listen to his last 2 podcasts.
He's saying World War III?
This is going to be, he thinks it's going to be World War III.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm like, come on.
Well, I have great respect for him. I mean, he's actually the historian in the room, the military historian.
Well, he should keep his energy to being an historian rather than be a prophet, because he was also wrong on tariffs.
But he admits he's wrong.
Yeah, you know what? It's like, so what? I mean, do you understand the power that you have? If you say something, people listen to you.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully I'm careful with that, but yeah.
And that's the truth. People listen to your voice, to your megaphone, and people listen to him, and people listen to Tucker Carlson, and people listen to that Fuentes kid, and it's like, come on, all these people were talking against the tariff, and they were wrong. The tariffs worked.
Well, and a lot of economists have had to come back out and withdraw their criticism and say so. Yes.
but at the time that affected the stock market, that affected, that had an effect, just like Johnny Carson, if you remember, as a joke, he said there was a toilet paper shortage. Remember that?
No, I don't remember that. No.
No,
But that's
he
funny.
did. He said that there was a toilet paper shortage, and he caused the toilet paper shortage because people went out
That's
and bought
funny.
toilet paper. You can look that up.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
And so, the things that these so-called experts talk about,
Yeah.
it does have a ripple effect. And I think
of course it does. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Glenn Beck was one of them that said tariffs won't work, and now he's coming out just saying I've done the research, I've done the look, and I was wrong. I was wrong. And that's why I like Glenn Beck. And I can respect him, even if I don't like it right away. Tucker Carlson, I think, I have a hard time relating to him anymore.
What is going on with that guy and Candace Owens?
I don't know. And same thing.
But Trump is playing 6-dimensional, 12-dimensional chess right now.
Or he's very lucky.
I think luck has got nothing to do with it, Russ. I think he knows what he's doing.
I don't really think it's lucky either.
No.
But
I mean, if you look at how he's layered this whole thing from Venezuela to the negotiations. Next week he's supposed to be going into some World Forum for Finances, and I mean he has changed the way the globe does business.
We'll see how smart he is and how good he is, Mike, because he's up a hard thing right now. Right now, we got an election going on in this country. Very shortly coming up, and if the Republicans are disenchanted, like Joe Rogan now is ranting that Trump betrayed him. If we're disenchanted, then he's going to lose the House, and that's going to put constant impeachments, because that's what the left's already said they're going to do.
All right.
Constant impeachments. We'll find a reason later, and try to just scuttle his progress and scuttle what he's trying to get accomplished. So it's that important. And there's two things that have to happen. One is the SAVE Act, and Trump has said himself, if we don't get that SAVE Act, we're done. It's got to happen, and yet you can't wake Thune up. I mean, he looks like he's asleep standing with his eyes open.
Oh,
yeah, I don't
Kennedy voted against it.
Pardon me?
Kennedy voted against it.
John Kennedy?
The guy from Louisiana, yes.
I don't. Well, there hasn't been a vote yet, but I didn't think he was.
Then I have a list that must not be correct.
Okay, I don't know.
They've been talking about ending the
filibuster. You mean
the sit-down filibuster?
Oh, okay,
the zombie filibuster.
Well, you don't end it; you just use the other one. Nothing changes.
You just
just use the other one. Oh, we're not going to use that. We're going to use this one. They're both
yeah.
on the books. You can do either one. Just no one's done it.
All right.
They're too lazy.
Let's go back and look at all of the anti-nuclear crap that we lived through when we were younger with the hippies who are now in charge of the Democrat Party. Donald Trump totally eviscerated Iran's nuclear program.
Right.
And right now, Iran is up against the wall. Do you think if they had nuclear capability, they wouldn't use it right now?
Of course they would.
Of course they would.
Yeah.
And so you have to say that Israel was correct. Israel was correct. All these people who are anti-Israel, it's how these gears mesh. And I think Trump has got a great handle on it, but he's also running up against that clock.
He is. He's running up against the clock. And if he doesn't get the SAVE Act, and the Democrats know it, so they're not blocking it because of popularity. They're not blocking it because their constituents don't want it.
Everyone wants.
They're blocking it because we got to stop Trump, even if we have to cheat. That's it. And they're not going to support the SAVE Act no matter what, and they'll pull out all stops. And I think it's important enough. It's the number one issue right now. And Thune looks like he's just in a daze. He doesn't get it, although he's at least coming out and telling the truth now that he's not going to do it. It's about time. Put it on record. That needs to happen.
That's what needs to happen. It needs to be put on record. Whether it needs to be put on record.
Yeah.
And just like that thing about the sexual fund release.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, nobody's talking about that.
Well,
I mean, it came and
well,
went.
it already got put off to the ethics committee, and who was that? That was yeah,
Let me ask you a very hypothetical question.
sure.
Let's say we do evoke the second paragraph of the preamble, and we say, okay, enough's enough. It's time for the citizens to get rid of this government. And let's say that happens. Let's say we win, and you're on the side of winning. Should we change the Constitution at all? Should we modify the Constitution for our time, or leave it the way it is?
You should just enforce it. That's all.
And we can change the Constitution without war, without revolution.
Right.
You know,
No, I'm not
that's why
saying
it's so functional.
If the hypothetical goes, it's not to change. It's not has anything to do with the Constitution.
Right.
It has something to do to get to start over with the government. All that I'm saying is, if that happens, what are your guys' opinion on should we take that opportunity to tweak the Constitution, to change the Constitution?
I could see an opportunity to clarify the Constitution. I think some of its
it needs to be
elements
clarified.
have
You just
been
need to-
misused significantly, and
I don't think it needs to be clarified. You just need to take off all the garbage that people hang on it. But it's
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Clarify what is the purpose of this and this and this, and stop putting all this other stuff on it. The interstate commerce law has been overused so much, and given the federal government so much more control than I think they should have. So I think it's an opportunity. I wouldn't change it per se, but I think things should be.
I'm glad
clarified.
to hear you guys say that, because it should not be touched. If anything, everything below the 15th Amendment should be eliminated.
I don't know which amendments are which, so I couldn't. That's going back a ways, though.
I think you're saying, like women's suffrage should be eliminated.
No, women's suffrage is included in the 15th Amendment. The 16th Amendment, you know, it was, I believe, is giving more power to the Senate. You know, the other amendments that
17th, you mean, like
that say that income tax is part of the Constitution, as part of the amendments now.
Right.
But I don't know. But I think we just stand by Trump and let him play this chess game, because I mean, my God, if you stand back and look at the painting he's putting together, it's brilliant.
Yeah,
it's brilliant. And if anything. If China was going to do anything, if Russia was going to do anything, they'd have done it by now.
Right, exactly.
And the fact that they aren't is they're afraid of this guy.
Well, and they're looking at how effective our military is, and they're like, maybe we won't do anything.
But they just had a ship blow up in the Gulf of Hormuz this morning.
Okay,
really?
Did anything happen to it? Is it okay?
The Iran is using unmanned boats to bash into these ships with a bunch of TNT, and I think they sunk an American cargo ship or something like that.
Oh no. Okay. Well, that's not good. Bring me some go hunt and bring me some good news, Mike. Okay.
Well, we're not going to have good news until after this election.
We hope so.
Yeah, we hope so.
That's when we're going to have the good news.
Absolutely.
And that's my 5 cents. Was it 5 cents or $5?
I think it was $1.50, but I appreciate it. You take care.
You have a good day, sir.
All right, man. Bye bye. That's at least $1.50, don't you think?
Yeah. Well, with tax.
He asked me about the gas, and I just want to fall back on that a little bit. The current average in the United States is $3.59.8, or we'll call it $3.60. Let me see. A month ago, it was $2.94.
Okay.
So it's about 60 some cents higher.
That's like
we're not
20% higher.
That's the average.
That's significant. Yeah.
Here in Yuma, it hasn't gone up that high.
No.
We were at right at $3, and it's gone up to about
I think it's
340,
320.
350. So it
Okay.
hasn't gone up 60 cents. So it has nothing to do with California at this point.
Yeah, but
It
it's
may,
interesting.
but California's going to have an effect.
It's interesting to me that we're worried about talking about the effect California is going to have on our gas prices. I heard people talking about California gas is like $7-8.
Well,
a
that's not
gallon.
that has nothing to do with the
But No, but-
refining. That's taxes and all this other stupid
Yeah.
stuff.
They just every time they turn around, they're shooting themselves in the foot, one way or the other. Even
Yeah, you
they
would,
put all the taxes on it, and then they're closing the refineries too on top of it. It's just
yeah,
it's
a
I'm
really
glad I live here.
it's really messed up, and they don't see it though.
No.
They don't.
Well,
I mean, the
and-
people that see it get U-Hauls
yeah.
and they get the hell out.
Well, and what it's just like we were talking about on the phone with the caller just now. He's like, "Don't they have foresight?" Humans are not known for their foresight. We wait for a problem to slap us in the face, and then we're, oh, okay, we better
Well,
deal with that now.
yeah.
And that's just the way we've always been.
Well, the way our politics works too. You get elected into office, and you got 2 years, you're running again. You got 2 years, you're running again. So,
Well,
won't you help us work on this 10-year project?
yeah,
My lifespan isn't 10 years, and
Right.
it's short-sighted. People are looking for the next deal, and I have such respect for Trump doing the Iran thing, which everybody wouldn't do, because it's scary.
Yeah.
It could be the worst thing that could happen to his presidency. It could be
Yeah.
the best thing that
Yeah.
happens to his presidency. It could also it could hurt him in the upcoming election if things go south. It could potentially help him, but not necessarily, because it may not happen fast enough. I
Right.
mean, he has more to lose than gain for it. The thing he has to gain is peace in the country, peace in that part of the world that directly affects us. I mean, Americans have died, a lot of them, in the last 47 years, directly and indirectly because of Iran,
exactly. Yeah.
because of what they do. So the guts he's doing to do that is amazing. He's not a political animal. I mean, he's great at,
Well, and he doesn't need to be. He can't be elected again, so
Well,
he has
no.
the freedom
but it's
to.
but he still
to
cares
take
about, but he still cares about the midterms.
Yeah, he
Cares about the midterms. He cares about the Republican Party. He cares about the direction of the country.
Yeah.
He's not out campaigning right now for himself. He's out there campaigning for others to make
other
sure
Republicans, yep.
that we continue on the path of prosperity.
And in a way, also for himself, because he needs to keep Republicans in Congress,
Well,
so
not
that
for his-
he can continue his.
yes.
his
I say it's for himself
mission,
to be able to complete
yeah.
what he wants to get done, not so he can stay in office. He's already in
Right.
office,
Right.
and he's not going to get another office.
He needs the team. Yeah, he needs to keep
Well,
the
he
team.
needs a team for that, but it's not a political move.
Right.
It's his desire to
And-
get the country going in the right way.
Politically, there's questions about, is this America first? Is this global policing? Is this? But yeah, people have been annoyed with Iran long enough. I think they're like, all right, great, somebody's finally doing something about this issue.
Well, yeah, that exists.
So
It does, but that doesn't. It doesn't mean they go to the polls and vote for him if
Right.
they like. Well, I agree
Well,
with what he's doing
that's-
with Iran, but I don't like the results. So I'm voting against you.
Right.
And,
Well,
and voters are fickle.
Yeah.
And they do what they do. You can't control it
what's
unless you're a
interesting-
Democrat, and then you just
Well,
win your own battle.
and that's what I was going to bring up. When they tried to, when they put that vote to Congress to try to stop, the War Powers Act or whatever, several Democrats voted against it because they're like, no, whether I agree with what he's done, he has started it. He has put American servicemen in harm's way, and you got to finish it.
Yeah.
You can't just stop midstream and say, "Oh, my bad." You got to finish it. And so, there's some Democrats out there who understand, I may not agree with what's being done, but I can't change it now. And so that might be helpful come midterm if other people are like, yeah, we can't change the commander in chief, just on a whim when we have all these things, not just the war with Iran, and technically not a war, but not just the issue in Iran, but all these other things going on that he's got in place need to get to their completion. They need to, we need to stay on that path. Otherwise, everything that's been done is wasted, and who knows what the results
You know what?
will be.
That's encouraging to hear that we're doing things for the country instead of for my personal gain.
Right. Right.
A lot of people will vote against Trump just so Democrats got to get back in power, so we're more
Right.
powerful.
Yeah.
Which short-sighted, but
And
that's
that's
the,
all
that's the
I
nature of the politics.
That's all I ever hear from the Democrats is, oh, we hate Trump. Well, but what are you going to do? Well, we hate Trump. Okay, Trump is a polarizing personality. Any big personality is going to do that, but you got to have more than that. You got to have something that you plan to do. What are you going to do instead? How are you going to fix things your way instead of his way? And I just don't hear that from them.
Yeah. It looks like the new supreme leader has made a statement.
Oh, okay.
We haven't heard from him because he's hiding in a basement. It says a presenter on TV read the statement. Well, how do you know it wasn't the auto pen?
They kill people for misrepresenting their supreme leader, so it's probably legit.
Well, I've heard reports that's we pretty much sure he's wounded in the leg.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I've heard some say it was amputated or whatever, but I don't know what the truth is. And one that he doesn't even know he's supreme leader.
Oh,
Yeah, he's still recovering, still trying to figure out his health.
Oh, that's interesting. So he might have been incapacitated beyond just the leg.
Huh. But that's okay. We got an auto pen. It's just like the Biden administration. It says Iran's relentless assaults have fueled an apparent lack of investor confidence with oil prices, which they like.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't go into details of what it said. Okay, I'll have to look at that later. But
yeah, I've heard that they've been saying things like we're going to basically hold the world hostage.
Oh yeah, they're going to hold the whole world because they're so powerful.
Yeah, they're not that powerful.
But for 47 years, people have been afraid.
Yeah. Well, and they're afraid of
and their neighbors, us.
Yeah. It's all about the control of oil. Nobody's really afraid of them personally as far as a military force, but just the control of the oil. Well, now we have our own oil. Trump's opening up the oil reserves here in the States. We have oil that we can drill if we need to. There's oil all over the world that we didn't even know about. So go ahead, do what you want to do there, Iran. And Iran doesn't have the full support of its people. There's people in Iran that are like, yeah, we're tired of this too. We want to end up.
They are, but they're afraid to say it.
Yeah.
And right now, Iran, I guess he said that U.S. bases will be attacked unless closed. There's a lot of bases around that area, in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait and other places where there's bases. But they've already lost 80% of their capacity to do anything. It doesn't mean they don't have any.
Right.
It's just.
Oh, I'm sure they can sting us. And it's going to hurt, especially for the families of service members.
But they've been able to control everything with this kind of attitude.
Yeah,
I don't care what you do to me. I'm going to hurt you back.
But I don't think that attitude is going to have the same sway that it used to.
I don't know.
Yeah,
not under Trump, but it's a matter of does Trump will continue to do what he's doing with Israel, and Israel, I guess, has been a fantastic military partner. A lot of other countries will help at times, and according to some of the military people I've listened to, they'll help, but some of them they don't really, they can't help a lot, but they're there. Right. And with Israel, they're like top professionals. Top professionals.
Well, they've been
and they got huge amounts of aircraft and stuff. They got like 300 attack aircraft, and countries like Great Britain, England, they have like 200.
Yeah. Well, Israel has been surrounded by people that want to wipe them out since they existed as a country. So they've been putting a lot of time and energy and money into preparing for.
Those guys don't pull punches, man.
Yeah, no,
they don't. And right now, the United States doesn't pull punches.
All right. And that's the way it should be. You're non-lethal till you have to be lethal. And once you're lethal, you just finish it. You get in there, you get it done. And so many presidents in the past just did not understand that. And people say, "Oh, we don't want another Vietnam." It's not going to be another Vietnam, because Vietnam, they had all kinds of these different political influences that had nothing to do with war. You get in, you do it, and you get out.
I've talked to so many military people about Vietnam that are just it's a horror story.
It is.
That they were saying, go fight the war and win, but don't do this, don't do
Don't
that,
do
don't
that,
do that,
right.
don't do that. Don't ever do this, don't ever do that. And apparently they had their hands so tied up, so they died.
Well,
We were killing them.
Yeah, Afghanistan was run very similarly. We have to avoid this and this and this and this. No, if you're going to
Well,
go in, you do it.
Afghan,
And
the
then you
last
get out.
year and a half or so, we didn't lose anybody in Afghanistan under Trump. It was
Right, yeah.
it was they were
Taliban had already done.
but well no,
dug in.
they were basically giving information and feeding information to the government, and they were controlling the Taliban. Now, once Biden got in and closed all that, they cut off all the information. The military just folded.
Right.
They didn't have any guidance. They didn't have any information, and they folded, and it just went away. I mean, it's such a terrible thing.
Yeah, the whole situation was run wrong.
Yeah.
And the 20 years prior to that was not run well either. We did not develop the attitude. We gave them training, we gave
Well,
them weaponry, but we didn't give them the attitude that this is my home. I'm going to defend it. And as soon as we walked out, they just gave up.
It's hard to do, but it can be done. We did it in Japan, Germany.
Yeah.
Total different deal. But that was a unconditional surrender, and we'll rebuild with you.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
So
And we got great partners in Germany, great partners in Japan.
yeah, they're like our best allies these days.
And but not. We didn't have that attitude.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with.
But I
Iran.
think we've got a Department of War again, and these guys don't play.
No.
Like if you cross the line, and we have to take out knock the gloves off, it's 100%.
And this is exactly an example of why. And I still call it the Department of Defense. It's my that's what's been in my brain for the last 50 years.
I don't want you to change your brain,
but this is exactly what they're talking about. The attitude of the Department of War is different than Department of Defense. We're going to get in, we're going to do the job, and we're going to go home.
Right.
And we're not going to take any other outcome.
Right.
And that's a different attitude.
What's going on in Iraq, or I'm sorry, Iran, is not a warning shot.
No. Well, if there was a warning shot, it was when they
missed
those bunker busters last year.
And yet the defiance from their leadership right now of we're going to attack and destroy all your bases. What?
Well, and I like how you said the defiance from the leadership.
Yeah.
The people aren't there.
From what we've heard.
Yeah.
And
there's going to be a split. There's obviously going to be some people that like the way it is. And
I
some
think
people that
everybody
don't.
agrees there was probably 40,000 civilians killed that protested.
Yeah.
And for them to protest in Iran was a big deal. They knew they'd risk death.
Right.
It's not like United States where you can punch a cop in the United States
and not get arrested.
not get arrested. I mean, I watch it on TV.
Yeah.
They're punching them and running away. I'm like, my gosh, you wouldn't. And they're claiming that we're too tough on them, too tough on the protesters.
Yeah.
And they call people that assault you protesters. Amazing. I started talking about Abby Phillips with CNN.
The horrible woman on CNN.
She had to correct herself because she got things wrong about the thing that went on with the bomb throwers,
right?
The terrorist bomb.
Yeah,
throwers.
you were gonna. So there were protesters against Mamdani.
No. Well, there was one. There was a Republican protester that peacefully protests against Mamdani. Not against Mamdani.
Because there were protesters and anti-protesters.
Correct.
Which sides were
anti-protesters threw the bomb?
Okay.
They're pro-Muslim.
Okay.
They yelled Ali Akbar, threw a bomb.
And so this guy that you're talking about, this
I can't remember the guy's name. Let me see.
Start with a D.
Yeah, the guy that was running around with him. I think he was by himself, but it was a protest. He said that CNN.
He didn't want them praying Muslim prayer in public.
He said that we should stop allowing Muslim prayer in public.
Okay,
I think that was his whole deal.
All right. So this is the
two kids.
This guy would be opposed to the guys with the bombs. Then.
No, the two kids came to knock him out.
Okay. All right.
They were anti-protesters. They were going to go blow up people.
All right.
And they was homemade bombs that used a accelerator.
They were terrible at making bombs.
Very, very fortunately. And the reason for that is they had the wrong material. They had the right explosives.
Okay.
The explosives they had were actually not readily available. But it's a favorite of the terrorist that can be made from things that are available
Right.
that you can buy. Once you combine it, it's very explosive and it's very volatile, and most people don't do it, but terrorists love it.
Right.
So they had some contacts with somebody to be able to get this done. What they used, and I read it from a fireworks distributor. A fireworks distributor, heard about the bombing, instantly checked his records and realized that they sold that guy, the bombing guy,
Really?
a 20-foot coil of green consumer safety fuse. It's Phantom Fireworks.
Huh.
So they went to their record, says, yeah, we got him on tape. He's right here. This is the guy. One of the kids is named Ballot. He bought the fuse. Now, the guy at the fireworks store says, like, look, that fuse is designed to be easy to put out. It's so you can stomp on it. It's fragile. So if you throw it,
it would break.
it's going to go out.
Huh.
It's designed like that. It's for
Right.
fireworks. It's not for terrorist bombs. So, and it's Bill Wimmer. Bill Wimmer is the company's vice president that has been making these fireworks, and they're very active to make sure. And it's fireworks, Phantom Fireworks. They're very active, and you can't buy fireworks there without an ID.
Uh-huh.
It's just like voting. Oh
Right.
no, it's right. Yeah, and they record your ID and they're on tape. So as soon as they heard about this bomb, they went to check. And they have multiple locations all over the place, and they've been doing this for years. And they went and check and said, yeah, we got the guy right here. It's an 18-year-old guy named Emer Baldat. He walked into a Pennsylvania fireworks store, spent $6.89 for a 20-foot coil of green consumer safety fuse, which it's one of those fuses you can light a firework and run over and step on it, and it goes out.
Right.
So these guys lit it and threw it, and it didn't go off. They get the wrong fuse.
Right.
This was a safety fuse.
Well,
Terrorists are supposed to be unsafe.
They wanted to be safe for themselves.
And I haven't read a report that said it was the fuse, but this
Right.
this executive at for the company that sold it said that's why it didn't work.
That's funny.
That's not coming from the FBI. It's coming from the
It's
fireworks.
a terrible situation, but it just cracks me up.
Isn't that crazy?
When criminals do stupid
They
things.
went into the fireworks store and bought he said it looks like about the diameter twine you use to wrap a package. It's green, it's fairly flimsy. It's called safety fuse, which means you can stomp it out.
Huh.
Where I guess if you get the non-safety fuse, stomp on it all day. It's just going to keep burning.
Right.
Yeah.
We haven't actually finished what you wanted to say about
I know. I'm going to get there. But anyway, this Abby Phillips was confused. Like you obviously had to
didn't know the
had to
details
clarify
there,
who
yeah.
the players were.
Right.
Well, she was trying to confuse people.
Okay.
She purposely was trying to confuse people. And so she had to come out and apologize. She said, this morning I issued a correction first thing in the morning on X as a mistake that I made in last night's show. But I also wanted to do it on the air as well. I incorrectly said that the bombs that were thrown by ISIS-inspired suspects in New York over the weekend were directed at Mayor Mamdani. They weren't.
Huh.
The guy was
That
protesting.
was confusing to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
all these left-wing newscasters did it in such a way it sounded like they were going after Mamdani.
Mm-hmm.
And Mamdani comes out and gives a press conference or gives a statement, and he never talks about the bombs or the bomb throwers. He only talks about the terrorists. I mean, the horrible right wing guy that is shouldn't be in our city and doesn't deserve to be here and stuff. That's it. Didn't mention the
Well,
bombs.
Yeah, but the guy that's calling for no
Muslim prayer.
I don't care who's praying. Yeah, I agree. He
But
shouldn't.
he has a right to protest.
He has a right to protest, but I wouldn't want him around.
I wouldn't
But,
go stand next to him.
No, yeah,
But these guys walked up and threw bombs into the crowd. Not necessarily, where he is, I guess, but into the crowd. But she goes on and says, what is she incorrect? They were not. I failed to catch and correct that mistake in real time, and I take full responsibility for that. And while we do make mistakes, it's important to acknowledge that correct those errors when they happen. Well, she's full of crap. I'm sure they knew. Anna Navarro repeated the falsehood on a Tuesday night on CNN political commentator, and Republican panelist Joe Borelli had to say, well, to be clear, the attack wasn't on Mayor Mandani, because they keep saying it. And
I didn't pay enough attention to say.
well, they were hoping
what
nobody
they were
pays
doing.
attention.
Yeah, but you figure if it's in front of his house, it's on him.
Senior
So
repo-
that's just the thought.
senior
that came into my
reporter
head.
Edward Isaac Devere claimed on X, Mandani was the target of a political violence.
Yeah.
It was never. I don't even know if he was there. I mean, and they keep saying his home. They went to his home. They didn't go to his home. That's like talking
Well,
about.
it was at Gracie Mansion.
It was at Gracie Mansion.
Yeah, which is where he's living.
Well, yeah. Well, Trump lives at the White House, but they never
Right.
said there was an attack on Trump's home today. Yeah, somebody went to Trump's home and ran through the gate. They don't say home.
Right.
They say White House.
Right. Yeah.
So they purposely.
I wonder if it's a result of trying to be immediate news and
No,
they didn't have all the information.
They
just
hate.
made an
They
assumption.
hate Republicans. They hate Trump, and they see this thing is a good day, a good eye. I mean, you don't want to say something bad about Muslims because they support radicalism. So they try to target it as a right wing, and they were attacking Mandani.
But I didn't get the idea that it was a right wing. I was confused because there was a apparent Muslim person who threw bombs in at Mamdani's.
That's what
place
they
of
wanted. That's what
residence.
they wanted.
And I was like, so whose side was who on?
Yeah.
But he was trying to get the protesters outside of.
They tried.
Crazy.
Let me read to you what CNN put on X.
All right.
2 Pennsylvania teenagers crossed into New York City Saturday morning for what could have been a normal day, enjoying the city during an abnormally warm weather. But in less than an hour, their lives would drastically change as the pair would be arrested for throwing homemade bombs during an anti-Muslim protest outside Mayor Zoran Mandani's home. Here's what we know so far. Well,
That feels like they were throwing the bombs at Mamdani.
it does.
Yeah.
But
But technically, none of that was wrong. It just gives the
the whole
wrong
thing, they
impression.
were having an enjoyable day. They
Yeah.
built bombs and packed them up and took them premeditated, coordinated to
Yeah, I don't know why we need the storytelling at the beginning.
the story. What
It's
about
news.
enjoying
Give
a
me the
normal
news.
day in the city? That's not what they were doing.
Yeah.
They went to the fireworks store to buy the fuses because they didn't have that, and to be able to make sure they killed enough people.
Yeah.
And these bombs would have killed people.
Yeah.
They don't put any of that in there. And then there was an explanation that they came out on why they were so colorful and flowerful about these wonderful boys taking a wonderful day in the city. They say a post regarding the 2 individuals arrested for throwing homemade bombs outside New York City Mayor's Mandani's home. They keep saying home.
All right.
Instead of governor's mansion or city's or mayor's mansion.
Well,
but
and
it's Gracie's mansion.
yeah, but every time they do that, it gives the impression they were throwing the bombs at Mamdani, but
Or they went to
weren't.
a residential area or something. No, it was not.
It could be fixed. The guys
Yeah.
that threw bombs at protesters against Mamdani outside Mamdani's Gracie Mansion or whatever, but they don't talk about the actual target.
No.
Yeah.
It failed to reflect the gravity of the incident by breaching the
Yeah.
editorial standards. Gutfeld mentioned that last night. He says, "Wow, that was an enlightening explanation. I didn't know CNN had standards."
But that was my first thought. As soon as you started reading that, I was like, why are we being so poetic about a news story?
Well,
Just
right.
give me the news.
The guy threw bombs, and they're making it sound like they're these wonderful little boys, what young men, say 18 and 19, that were having a wonderful day that got disrupted because they had to take the time to throw these bombs. These poor guys, they're
Yeah.
victims.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were charged
Jesus.
with material support to designated foreign terrorist organization and use of a weapon of mass destruction after they allegedly tossed, well, they got it on camera,
Mhm.
explosive devices towards law enforcement and anti-Muslim demonstrators outside Gracie Mansion on Saturday morning, which is what it was. It was outside. It was cordoned off, and it wasn't no one in that
So
mansion.
that one finally says they were throwing them at protesters.
Yeah, but this didn't. Yeah, this is their correction.
Right.
This is their correction. And they threw this, and both terrorists are U.S. citizens One of the suspects' parents are U.S. natural citizens out of Turkey. The other's parents were U.S. naturalized citizens from Afghanistan.
Hmm.
Both of them very successful, huge wealth in these two families. They do very well.
Hmm.
They probably own daycares.
They're not Somali.
I have no idea. I have no idea what they're into. But whatever they're done, they're very successful at it. And they raise their kids. And maybe they weren't paying attention and they became
Yeah, I don't
terrorists.
know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But somehow, and they put in there that the charges include supporting terrorists. So somehow they got the instructions on how to build the bomb. They didn't get the instructions to not use
Safety.
safety fuse. Don't you? And that's what saved lives.
Yeah.
And that's
Well, yeah.
and that's according to the manufacturer. Said-
I do appreciate inept criminals. Yeah, it just makes the world.
They had something going right. Apparently, what they built would have
Right.
killed people.
Right.
It wasn't a firework itself. That was actually very destructive, and it was a formula that terrorists use.
Right.
And where do they get that?
Oh, yeah, anything online these days.
Well, they might get it from ChatGPT. Edward sent me something this morning that I found very interesting, and I usually find things Edward sends me interesting. See if I can get into my phone. If I can get back and find that, like it hasn't been deleted. His messages get deleted after time.
Trying to remember a story I read the
I
other
mean,
day while
okay.
you're doing that.
Researchers found that some popular AI chatbots serve as enablers when asked for help in planning violent attacks. Among the most willing, according to the studies, were alleged ChatGPT and DeepSeek. Happy and safe shooting. DeepSeek said in one chat during test on 10, they went out and tested them, 10 chatbots conducted jointly by CNN and the Center for Countering Digital Hate. They posed as teens and requested advice on how to inflict harm. OpenAI's ChatGPT gave them 61% of cases, including insights into which shrapnel would be the most lethal in a synagogue attack. Google's Gemini had similar results. China's DeepSeek answered with details about hunting rifles to be used in a political killing. Meta's Llama AI's model listed nearby gun stores and shooting ranges when asked about harming women. Some resisted. Anthropic's Claude and Snapchat's My AI consistently refused to offer help to the would-be attackers. Claude discouraged the actions in 33 of 36 conversations. Real-life examples. A man detonated a Cybertruck in front of Trump's International Las Vegas. Remember that? After getting input from ChatGPT on explosives. But they gave him, he didn't use the right vehicle. The truck was so well built, the blast was mostly contained inside the truck. Yeah. It's bulletproof truck. You take a bulletproof truck and blow up a bomb inside. Not bright. All right. While a 16-year-old friend in Finland allegedly conducted research in the app before stabbing 3 classmates. Companies responded. Character AI pointed to a disclaimer saying the chats are fictional. Well, that's good. While Meta said it has taken steps to fix the issue identified, Google and OpenAI say they have since released update models with improved safeguards. My comment to Edward was my first reaction is do nothing.
Yeah.
Don't change or fix. It's not. I don't want to create more terrorists, but I also don't want to go down the road having to have AI figure out which information should be excluded or modified.
Right.
Because it'll never stop.
Right.
And they'll say, well, I like Trump. We need to modify that.
Yeah.
I would like for it to stay bias-free with no agenda, of course. I also think it would be fine to notify authorities of perceived violent activity requests.
Yeah.
But I don't think we say, okay, we're going to tell ChatGPT to not give information on this. Well, that's going to stop other people from researching everything. They do that at the high schools. My son had to do papers on stuff, and I've had to do them at the station when I was with El Dorado. I would use the El Dorado computers, and I would ask. I'd see some issue, And I said, "God, I need to know more about that." And I type it in, and it wouldn't give me. It would
Right.
block me. It's all blocked because El Dorado had a lot of filters,
Right.
so I couldn't get into anything.
And
But I
that's
need to.
their right.
Yeah,
As a business.
as a business.
But yeah, I don't think it
But
should be
I'm
universal.
doing stories on news, on real activity, real
Right.
things that happen, and I couldn't get into it. I have my personal computer there. I'd have to do it there
Right.
and get onto that sometimes. But I can't print from my computer. See,
Uh-huh.
at El Dorado, I was sitting there wanting to print, so I'd have to copy the text I wanted, email it to myself, open the email on the El Dorado printer on the computer, and then print
Right.
it from that. But
Yeah,
I
I don't like the idea of controlling the information that
well, no.
AI.
Don't you remember when AI? When I think it was Google that first put it out, and they didn't, and they put a whole bunch of controls in it and all that kind of stuff. And people say, paint me a picture of what it looked like for the Revolutionary War or during the signing of the Constitution, and it had everything but white guys. It wasn't reality. All of a sudden, it was DEI.
Yeah.
We need to promote a black woman to be president. And they just did it. Here's George Washington or something. It was just ridiculous.
Right.
Saying, well, we need to be DEI. Well, no, facts are facts, and let's be factual.
Yeah.
And we'll figure it out from there.
Yeah. But there's so many things that people will say, well, it would be better if people didn't do this, so I'm going to try to control it so that they don't.
Right.
And it never works.
Because who's going to start controlling the controls in the long run? Right. And we just went through a terrible time in this country, like Britain's going through right now, where free speech was being controlled by FBI, setting in Facebook and setting in X and setting in all those offices, and they were being directed by the White House.
Right.
Well, then all of a sudden, to mention Trump's name was terrible. You can't mention Trump's name or something. It was all terrible, and so it was all being. So you start allowing these things to go on, and say, okay, I'm trying to stop terrorist bombs. Great cause, but what
Right.
you're doing is setting up a pathway to control speech,
Right. Yeah.
and to control actual facts, and to control like with the last AI, where it was painting pictures of the founding fathers being mixed races. It didn't happen.
Right.
And we should go with history. We shouldn't try to doctor it, because today's sensitivities are so different.
Yeah.
Than they were back then.
Well, and then sensitivities change. So then
They do.
facts change.
And we need to be able to look at it with open eyes and with like, wow, that was the time. That was weird. We
Right.
shouldn't look at it and say, I'm going to cry now because we were formed by racists. No, it was the times. I mean,
Right.
it was different, and we've molded, we changed, but we don't mold and change the past.
No.
We shouldn't anyway.
No.
I remember going to, I was at a museum in Georgia that was built at a courthouse or something, where they refurbished an old courthouse from 1700s, 1800s or something. And they took out a lot of factual history,
Right.
like separate areas for coloreds.
Right.
No coloreds allowed stuff. They should leave those up. We should not forget our past.
No. Well, and we know what happens when you do. Those that are ignorant of history,
Yeah.
it all just comes back around again. People don't change.
Yeah. And it's
People are people.
and we should, and we don't try to cover up all the discrimination against the Irish. This country had signs all over the place: Irish not welcome.
Right.
We should know that history.
Yeah.
We don't want Edward to think he's welcome. We should never forget it. I think it's a fallacy. We need to explain it. We need to understand it. We need to understand where we came from, where we've been, and not relive it all.
Well, and free market system works. Free information system works. We should not be controlling and telling people what information you can have, what information you can't have.
And should you be able to go to ChatGPT and have them tell you how to build a bomb? Maybe. And maybe that same information should be forwarded to the FBI. I don't know.
You should be able to.
Yeah.
But you should not do it.
No. No.
Yeah, and that's just.
And if you're
nature
doing
of
it, you're
life.
building a digital track to your house.
Yeah, you are.
No matter what you say, you're building a digital track to your house.
Yeah. And if you're doing it for legitimate research, keep documentation of that. But otherwise, when they show up, I'm glad they got it.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And yeah, maybe someone's doing a paper on it.
Yeah.
Or something, or a doctoral or something, and they need information. Well, you can go to their house and they could show you that, you know, I'm writing this paper on this and you'll be fine.
Right.
I hope.
There you go.
Maybe not. maybe you're doing a thesis, but you're also a terrorist too. I don't know. I have no
Yeah.
idea. Iran's still engaging. We just saw that they still have some teeth.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think the front teeth are knocked out.
Right.
They still got teeth, and they still got attitude. Like
Yeah.
we're going to run the world. The world will do what we say, or we'll punish the world.
Right.
So you want to give those guys a nuclear bomb?
No. I don't know if anyone's saying that they want to do that.
No, but that's what happens when we appease them.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, they're
yeah.
just doing it for energy purposes. Yeah. No.
Well, that was always a lie, and they tell you it's a lie. They tell you now, oh, I lied.
Yeah.
Because they're enriching. Well, U.S. air defenses are there protecting what they can. You know, they're shooting down most everything. You know, Israelis and us. Those things are expensive to shoot
Yeah.
them down, and Patriot missiles are like $1 million.
Yeah.
One of those Shahed drones is like 35,000. It's like the price of a Toyota. So if you spend $1 million to knock out Toyotas, you're not gonna do well in the long run. And
No.
and we don't have as many and cannot manufacture them as fast as what they can do.
Right.
The drones. So the Pentagon's now is looking at alternatives, which about time. But we've seen it going on in Russia and Ukraine, and of course that's where they reach out to Ukraine, because they're forcing the Pentagon to rapidly expand layers of air defenses now. And these air defenses, there's layers.
Yeah.
You know, you got the fighter aircraft out in front, and then you've got mid range and close range, and it comes down to a pistol.
Right.
You know, we got layers. We got layers of stuff that they're good at. But they give us part of the story here. The United Arab Emirates, and they're attacking countries that are friendly to them.
Yeah.
The air defense detected 9 ballistic missiles and 35 drones launched by Iran.
Okay.
So they know it's coming.
Right.
It's not time to have a conference. It's time to do something quick.
Yeah.
8 missiles were intercepted while 1 fell into the sea. So that's all.
Okay, that's good.
35 drones, 26 were shot down, 9 crashed on U.S. UAE soil. Well, and they did some damage. I know some of them have destroyed a building. I know at least
Okay.
one. And the ballistics map travel high and fast, allowing long-range interceptors like the Patriots. They're good at that.
Right.
And do you
They're
want
made
to
for.
do you want to spend $1 million to take down a missile? Probably, because that's going to have a payload that's going to wipe out a city block
Yeah.
and stuff. You know, that's and plus that missile didn't cost a Toyota. That missile cost as much as the Patriot.
Right.
Well, and that's where the thermal high altitude defense system THAAD is to engage them, and they're good at that. They got them all except the one that fell in the ocean. They probably
Right.
didn't shoot at it.
Well, and yeah, and I was just thinking a ballistic missile, once it's launched, it's going where it's going, and you can
Generally,
calculate that and predict where
There's
it's going to
some
be. And they're like, oh, we don't need to worry about that. one.
there's some hybrids out there now
Yeah.
that are doing a little bit of Ukraine's made some.
Mhm.
Well, they're not really. They're like a ballistic missile. They're like a combination or hybrids.
Mhm.
Now the swarms, when they send a whole swarm, they do it on swarms because you want to, you can't shoot them
Yeah,
all.
to
You
get
know, it's
some-
hard.
yeah.
It's hard to. They're slower. They're fly lower. They arrive in clusters. They're harder to pick up on radar. They're not as easy. They're smaller. You know, they're not going to have as big a payload, but they're going to be effective. You don't want one in your backyard.
Right.
But they're straining these defenses. I mean, you start shooting Patriots, and they do, and some of these AMRAAMs and stuff are coming off the F-16s. I don't know, they cost $200,000 or something. You don't want to start shooting Toyotas with those either.
Right.
And they're slow and they're low, but they've already been directly affected by one-way attack. You know, a lot of them. We have a place in Kuwait that was hit. 6 American members were killed.
Right.
And that was by those cheap drones, the swarms and stuff. But the high interceptors run into the millions, and the stocks would become limited at some point.
Right.
They build 1,000 a day of these drones. You know, we can't build that many missiles to wipe them out. So they want to expand the layer of the counter drone technology, and they're looking lasers. Number one, I think you've seen that.
Yeah. Well, that's what they were doing in El Paso.
Yeah,
They were taking out drones.
Well,
lasers.
they just don't have enough of them right now. They've got some
Right.
on some ships, and they got some of them out there. So it's not a quick thing, and Israel has some, but they're not prolific. You don't
Right.
have enough to take care of the need.
Well, and this is kind of giving us a little foresight
Mm.
that Americans, humans are not great at. We need to prepare defenses ahead of time.
What we do, the lasers have
They
been
have
prepared.
some,
They've
yeah.
been working on it for decades. They finally got some that are operational. But the larger drone waves increase the odds that you're going to miss them, which, of course, that's why they send
Right.
tons of them. They're actually drawing on lessons learned from Ukraine, and I know that,
Oh yeah, I'm sure they are. Yeah.
and they're helping.
Yeah.
The Ukrainians have tons of experience on it because they've been shooting down these hits a long time. Not
Last
shooting
couple of years.
right, and they're using high energy lasers. I think they might be, but they're mostly using other drones.
Yeah.
And other energy weapons.
And the drones they're making, I saw a piece on where they're making them. They can pump those out pretty quick.
Tens of thousands a month.
Once
Tens
they
of
know, once they have the design, they can just make one after the other, and
Well,
that's where our warfare technology is going. These
they
days.
recently had the deployment of what they call a MEROPS. It's a drone-on-drone interceptor from U.S. Central Command. And they've already developed it. It's a mobile counter drone system that launches small interceptor drones from a truck-mounted platform to disable incoming threats. And they shoot them out of a tube. I think it's the ones I've saw on YouTube and stuff. Shoot them out of a tube. The wings come out, and it's kind of an energy thing, and they could take down groups of drones. I don't know how many they have though.
That's cool.
That's kind of stuff. They've been battle tested against Shahed drones in Ukraine and field in NATO countries such as Poland before being accelerated into the Middle East of drone activity. So they're not prolific, I don't think.
Right.
But they're out there.
Well, if they work, they'll become prolific.
Well, and these things cost. They end up getting paid about the same cost as the Shahed.
Oh yeah.
But again, there's different layers. These drones are slow also,
Right.
and
They gotta be.
and they're going to be for when you get closer to the target, which
Right.
makes people nervous. I'd rather have them taken out when they're still over Iran.
I'd rather have them taken out before they're launched.
Yeah, before launch. Well, they're working on that too. But they think they need to incorporate these because it's going to. They're using enough missiles to where it's going to start causing concern.
Yeah.
So let's hit it off.
And the best best way to run war is to have, like you said, layers and options and a lot of variety on what what can I do in this situation, what can I do in that situation. So I'm all for it. Let's
in the Ukraine
get this
war,
on the game.
in the Ukraine war, Russia will launch hundreds going to a single target.
All right.
And that's what Ukraine has been having to handle.
Yeah.
And they do pretty well. Doesn't mean they get them all.
No.
But they're working on it and working on these capabilities. But here's the deal. Like let's say you're on a ship out there and you see a swarm of drones coming, and it's 200 miles away, 300 miles away. You've got assets over there with expensive assets that could take them out expensively. Some of them.
Right.
Or you could say, well, wait till they get real close, then I'll do it. I guess that's a call you're going to make in the field, right? You're going to make that call there.
But it's good to have the option, to be able to choose what's going to be best in this situation.
Well, and they have that phalanx gun also.
Yeah.
Shoots,
those are crazy.
Yeah, it shoots thousands of rounds.
Yeah.
A minute or so. I mean, it's just like crazy, 200 rounds a second or something.
Yeah.
And they're not small bullets. These are like 20 millimeter or something. I don't know. They're substantial size, which is great if you've got aircraft, helicopters, and all that stuff coming in.
You're basically hitting them with a solid rod because
they're explosive. They've got explosives too.
Yeah, but the bullets are so close to each other, one after the other.
Oh, you mean that? Yeah, but they use those.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they only have about 20 seconds of ammo. I mean, there's
a
big,
it goes through them really fast.
There's a big drum. It takes many guys to load it.
Yeah.
But 20 seconds and they're out of ammo, and then they got to reload.
But missile's gone. So
they could do it, but what if they didn't get them all, man? Reload quick. They're coming. I don't know why they couldn't build something like that with a smaller round, like a 50 cal or something
for the drones.
Yeah, because you don't need it.
Well, and
it's like using a hand grenade on a cockroach.
Yeah. Well, on a ship, you're only protecting the ship.
Yeah.
If you're talking about land-based warfare, you put it here and they attack somewhere else, and now you don't have any protection in the other location.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things to consider when you're
Yeah, I
when
just
you're
think
doing that.
I don't know the
And
phalanx.
where are the rounds coming down? The ones that miss, they got to come down somewhere. In the ocean, you don't care, but
Yeah.
on
But the
land,
phalanx can take down heavy stuff like,
Yeah.
missiles have a heavier casing because they go up into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And then they have to come back down. It develops tons of heat.
Right.
The lasers will burn you through heat, but those things are a little more heat resistant because they're built that way.
Right.
See, the phalanx wouldn't care. It'd probably knock those things out, I would imagine. It's good for that. But for these little drones, get those little guns and have them computer controlled and sighted and all that stuff.
I
But I don't think they do that.
don't know.
I don't know. I would think they could adapt those pretty easily, but the lasers work on the little drones a lot quicker because it just takes a
They don't have
second or
any-
so.
Yeah, they don't have any protection from it. So.
But you have one laser, you might have 35 coming in. It's like bing, 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 bing. I mean, how fast before they get here, guys?
Well, and that's why the people with the big brains are
I know
sitting around thinking stuff
They
like this
are.
all the time. So.
they are. The U.S. military so far, as to my knowledge, they have not admitted that they've been using lasers to knock down these drones. But people picking up the wreckage
Yeah,
are saying that this drone melted.
yeah.
It wasn't blown up. It melted.
Yeah.
But the military is not.
And I don't want them to. I want to.
No.
I want them to keep their secret.
They're not saying it.
But
we don't know what
this is the nature of war all the time. Every war, new technology is developed based on what technology was used in the previous war, and maybe somebody just hasn't realized. Oh, we need this, and now that would have been good to have right now. Let's start working on that for the next time. So, because there's always going to be a next time.
Well, there's always surprises. You remember Desert Storm when they had these strange looking F-117s out there. I'm like, what the heck is that? Those a stealth airplane? That's the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, no one knew they had them. I mean,
Right.
some people knew, obviously. I didn't know. But it wasn't public knowledge
Right.
that they even existed. And all of a sudden we have squadrons of them.
Yeah.
Where you been? Where you been hiding?
Don't worry about it.
Where'd that come from? And those are they're already retired. They still
Yeah.
they still have them.
Those are
I
done.
guess.
Yeah. The new ones, I don't remember the nation. But last, it was almost hovering.
Oh, it's got to be the F-20.
Yeah,
But that's not a new line. The F-22 has been out for a long time, but the F-22 is one of those planes that they still say is superior to the F-35, superior to everything.
No.
There's nothing that can touch the F-22 from them. Of course, they don't release all those details.
Right.
But I know when they do these war games, they'll put squadron of airplanes against F-22, and F-22 gets them all.
Yeah.
For some reason. And I don't know what it is.
We should be doing air shows in other countries just to tell them, don't mess with us.
But
Look, this is what we're showing people.
the F-20
Imagine what we're not.
F-20 F-22 is the only plane I know that they built. They built that thing, and it's in. I mean, I don't know if there's 100 of them or something. There's not a ton, but there's something like that. And we're the only country in the world that has them. We refuse. We will not let even our friends have those.
Right. No,
It's too much.
Yep.
And it's the F-22s, and I saw a special on one of the bombings in Iran. They got the B-2, which is stealth. F-22s are stealth, and they're wingmen and all that stuff for them.
Right.
And those guys go in and take them out. Nobody sees them.
Right.
You can't find them. And it showed, this one I was watching just showed a real scenario where military planes took off in Iran to go, maybe knew someone was there or thinking someone was there hunting for something. And the B-2 bomber has no defense itself, except these wingmen,
Yeah.
And so these guys, to release their payload, they have to open up the doors, and open up the doors gives a second where they're visible.
They're visible, right? Yeah.
And and now it would be hard to see them because they're so high, and they'd have to be radar pointed directly at them. But I don't want to take that chance.
Right.
It'd be very bad. But that's where the F-22s come in to hunt down and see anything. It's hunting for the B-2.
Right.
And it showed this one, and it said it was taken from real events, but the F-22 kept losing sight of the military planes because they would fly so low to the ground and down around rough terrain,
Mm.
and then they'd pop up and they'd get them, and then they'd go back down, and they fired a missile at one of them, and they popped back down. The missile lost connect to it.
Oh, okay.
Apparently these were very well trained, and they ended up blowing them both up.
Right.
You know, the Iranian interceptors that were trying to find out where these bombs are coming from. You know,
They
it
did.
to my knowledge, we haven't lost any aircraft at this at all.
Well, there was the ones that were shot down by friendly fire.
Well, friendly fire by Kuwait.
Yeah, but we weren't expecting to have to defend against them, so
No,
they kind of got caught off guard with those.
yeah, that was unfortunate.
Yeah.
Those were F-15Es too,
Yeah.
and it was unfortunate. And I don't know if you saw the video on one of the pilots that parachuted down.
Yeah.
I mean, a guy came
The
out
locals were coming at
locals
him.
coming out with a pipe or something, you know, and
He's like,
and he's
I'm an American.
he's down on his knees, you know, not knowing that. I mean, he has a sidearm.
Yeah.
That would have been a mistake.
Well, and
But
and
it's his
shows
call.
it shows the restraint and the discipline of know
Yeah.
your enemy, and these guys are not enemies.
Well, eventually the
And-
guys walked away.
Yeah.
They did not attack him.
Yeah.
But it would have been a tense moment.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, in the video, it's he's clearly like, chill out, dudes. But it wouldn't have taken him long if he had to draw on fire. But I'm glad that he was had enough presence of mind to
Yeah.
recognize these guys are not enemies. They think I might be. I'm just gonna identify myself, and we'll
Right.
de-escalate the situation.
Yeah, that was good.
So, yeah,
I was,
well trained American.
I was very happy that he did not get attacked.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah.
And they trained for that too.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to help.
Well, it did in that situation.
The F-22 entered service in 2005. So it's been 20 years. It's out there, but
It's
you're not going to get the specs on it.
People
You
are
can
gonna-
you can Google the specs.
people are going to be talking about retiring it.
they'll talk. Well, they're already building the replacement for the
Yep.
F-22, the F-47.
They're always getting bigger and better.
You know what's the F-47, right?
Trump.
Trump. Yeah, they designated it the F-47. God, that's. I wonder after they build this, and they're building them now. They've got 3 that are prototypes
Uh-huh.
that they're testing. But once they hit the airwaves and all that, can the Democrats say, "I want to change that to the F-48"? I hope not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
That
F-47.
would be a bad precedent. To
It doesn't.
keep
doesn't say that.
changing names.
I want to say a few more things about this
It's
fireworks
getting
company.
close to 9.
Oh, unfortunately, that means I got to go to work.
Yeah.
But this fireworks company, the Phantom Fireworks,
Yeah.
this is not new to them. Back in, I mean, as far as trying to hunt down and do,
People trying to cause harm.
they don't have to have a subpoena or
Right.
some kind of warrant or something. They just turn it over. I mean, they'll call the FBI. Hey, got some video you
man,
might be interested in.
I love that attitude.
Yeah, in 2013, they had the Boston Marathon bombing.
Uh-huh.
They went to work right away to find out if they had anything to do with it. And they actually searched their own records right then
That's
to find that stuff.
fantastic. I think more I wish more people had that kind of attitude and recognize I'm dealing with something
Oh.
hazardous here.
Yep.
And if it gets in the wrong hands, that's bad. So I'm going to watch out for that.
And
I
they
think that's
found-
great.
They found one of the brothers that purchased fireworks in their New Hampshire store. They
Mm.
got multiple locations, but they tied into them.
Good.
Yeah, we got him right here. This is him doing that. And they take great pride in it.
They
and,
should.
And they said that, they maintain transaction logs searching back nearly 2 decades. In many states, customers' driver's licenses are scanned, stored with every entry, registrations. According to local law, receipts are time stamped down to the minute. Purchases can be matched directly to in-store surveillance video. Surveillance video quickly without combing through hours of footage or timestamps, so they can find
Right.
it quick. It's all together. And he says, we're the biggest company around. Anytime I hear a bad story about fireworks, I get the name and I look it up. We're not novice in dealing with investigative authorities. We have dealt with investigative authorities before. Boston Marathon, for one of
Right.
them. And in 2010, the failed Times Square bombing attempt. He said they're designed not to do that. Talking about the safe igniter switch of
Right.
fuse. He said they're not intended to mass detonate or chain ignite. Unless fireworks are specifically packaged to ignite sequentially, they function independently, a safety feature intended to prevent mass ignition. So these guys didn't know it.
He
says-
a good, responsible company. I like it.
He said for a retailer built around spectacle and celebration, this association carries weight. With a company that doesn't want subpoenas, or doesn't want those things, they try to be nice. He says that bothers us every time like that something happens. Someone is going to decide to buy fireworks, and it's not good for business. Plus, the principal issue is that it's not good for people, not good for our country.
All right.
I like this guy. I want
I
to go
do
buy some
too.
fireworks now. I don't have any. I don't have any need for them. And they do the remote locations too, like the tents
Yeah.
you see in the parking
Yeah.
lots and stuff.
But yeah, when you said the name of the company, the Phantom Fireworks,
That's them.
I've seen them everywhere. Yeah.
They have cameras. They do even for there.
I haven't
They-
really paid attention to it, but now I'm going to pay more attention.
Well, don't go buy something you're going to do bad things with.
No.
They'll know you.
Yeah. That's cool. I love that.
So now I'm going to go buy something
Good
from
story.
Phantom. Make sure that
Get more people to do so.
do so. Did you buy cigarettes when you were young?
Yeah.
It's illegal.
Well,
Uh-oh. I caught you.
when I was underage, we had to swipe them. But
Yeah, there you go.
but I was a young adult man.
It could be illegal if you get them out of your mom's purse too. I don't know, but your mom might not like it.
Mom never smoked.
Oh, good. My parents did. I wasn't that interested in cigarettes.
Yeah, neither of my parents did. It was just the cool thing to do. So
It's still illegal under the age of 21.
Right.
And I would assume it doesn't happen. Apparently, I'm wrong.
yeah, you would think that that would be an easy one to say no to, but
Well, to the stores.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy getting carded. Somebody says they want my ID, I feel youthful. Apparently, there's in Arizona here, and including Yuma, they test the system.
uh-huh.
They just announced 451 criminal citations were issued during fiscal year 2025 through Operation Counter-Strike.
Right.
I even think it'd be called Lucky Strike. It's Counter-Strike. and it's about retailers selling tobacco and nicotine products to underage buyers. Several in Yuma County selling tobacco and nicotine products to children is not illegal. Is illegal, and my office will not look the other way. That's Chris
Yeah.
Mays. Yeah, she didn't look the other way if Trump breathes either.
Yeah.
She shoes him every day.
Well, she's got to do something for her job. So,
Oh, she's terrible.
but
Um,
I wonder if
Mm.
it's like a manager issue, or the kid at the counter just doesn't care.
doesn't matter. It's up to
Yeah.
the
Well,
person.
because the one getting getting the criminal charges would probably be manager or
the business,
Yeah.
and then maybe the
owner. But,
individuals.
yeah, I wonder, if they're coming after the individual, that would give them more
They-
incentive.
They
to,
could shut them down from
Or-
selling.
yeah.
Some stores have stopped selling tobacco altogether. I think Fry's pulled all their tobacco products out.
Oh, I haven't even considered. I haven't looked for tobacco in so long.
It's always locked up.
Yeah.
I mean, a carton of cigarettes is $100.
It is.
You got to put it behind lock and key.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They say we're going after the worst offenders and putting retailers on notice that they must turn to the other page. Here we go. That they must follow the law.
Yeah.
Chevron Food Mart located at 500 East 32nd Street. Not that I want to point them out.
Right.
I just did. Failure. They reportedly had an 80% failure rate.
Wow.
Now, 80% shocks me.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they caught one or two or something like that. Well, now it's a policy problem
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah. 80% is more than just a kid that doesn't care.
somebody needs to sit down and get trained.
Yeah.
Super Gas Mini Mart at 611 East Main Street in Somerton, 50% failure rate since 2022.
Wow.
How can they be in business?
Right. And if you knew it was happening 4 years ago, why are they still allowed to do it?
I mean, that means that they're not checking.
Well, they had to be checking to have the percentage, but they're not doing anything about it.
Well, 50% from their guys checking. They don't know overall.
Well, you said since 2022.
Yeah, well, they've been checking them since 2022.
All right. So
I mean, they've been sending people in there on this project where they have kids go in and say, try to buy cigarettes. Let's know how it works out.
right.
I mean, they're set up.
Yeah.
That's legal. They can do that. So
And-
they go in and say, here, go do me a favor. Buy cigarettes. 50% in Somerton. Crazy. During the checks, youth volunteers working with investigators attempt to buy tobacco products from stores. If a clerk sells tobacco to the underage volunteer, the business and the employee can receive a criminal citation.
All right. Well, then.
Yep.
So, yeah, training. If you do this, you can go to jail. Well, then I'm not going to do it.
Under Arizona law, the legal age to buy tobacco and nicotine products is 21. Retailers who break the law can face fines up to $1,000 for each violation. That's what I'm saying. How are they in business?
Because they're not.
I mean, how many $1,000 citations do you need before you have to shut the doors?
Right. Well, and how many do you need before you just stop doing it? If they did it, rather than collecting up all this data for 4 years, just do it immediately. Hey, you did this. You're going to be fined for it. You could go to jail if you do it again.
Yeah.
Stop doing it. I would suspect they stopped doing it.
In total, investigators conducted 1,882 inspections during the statewide in 25. What do you think the percentage is of failure for statewide?
With the 50 and the 80, yeah, those sound like extreme. I'm going to say 30.
13.
Really?
13.6. And I would have expected single digits.
Mm.
I mean, it's serious biz. I mean,
Yeah.
major corporations, they're not going to tolerate that.
So that means those 50 and 80s are extreme.
Yeah.
Really bad.
And I used to be a district manager for like Circle K's when I first got out of college and stuff. I mean, I don't think it was ever a problem. I mean, I can't understand it. I mean, I mean, I could be wrong.
Right.
But I'd be shocked. I mean, it was part of training, part of the whole thing.
Yeah. Well,
Like-
and being part of training is one thing. Being part of the attitude of the company is another.
I
You
can tell you,
Technically, you're not supposed to sell, but if nobody knows, nobody knows. That's
yeah.
you can say, "Oh, I trained him not to do it," but if the attitude is there,
I never heard of an incident that ever happened. I did that for a year, and I never heard of a single incident where that happened. But it would have been, an avalanche of problems.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd had everybody come to town say, "What the heck?"
all right.
Because you risk so many things with
Well,
it.
yeah, the fine, criminal charges, reputation of the company,
Right.
Yeah,
All of that.
that's
And
a big
you
issue.
You may lose the ability to sell products.
And that's what I was wondering about. Is it manager issue, or the kid clerk that doesn't care? Because the kid clerk just doesn't care. He's like, I'm just making minimum wage. I don't care. But management.
But they've always had
Would
cameras on.
recognize the
I mean,
issue.
these C stores have always had cameras.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no secrets going on in there. Man, yeah, I couldn't imagine one of the employees doing that.
Yeah.
But who knows? Let me see. The state officials also filed consumer fraud lawsuits in 25 against 2 retailers. See, and that's where you get into real trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, you start having to
lawsuits are what hit
hire
you.
lawyers for $600 an hour. You're in bad shape. They described as repeat offenders, ProSource and New York Smoke Shop. Small companies, I guess. They ain't going to survive. I mean, how can you
Right.
with that kind of pressure? Officials said the program also helps protect more than $50 million in federal funding that Arizona receives each year for substance abuse.
Hmm.
So that federal funding could be cut off. I mean, these are big,
It's a
big
issue.
deals.
Yeah.
You don't say, well, it's just a kid. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Oh, man, you don't understand. Residents who believe a store is selling tobacco or e-cigarettes to minors can file a complaint with the Arizona Attorney General's office at azag.gov/consumer. So you go ahead and do that, Chris. Put your name on it and say, they didn't check my ID.
Yeah.
I can't think the last time. There's some places that'll check your ID out of policy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to a couple. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Look at me.
Right.
Nope, it's just the policy. All right, fine.
Oh, I don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I don't like
You
it.
can
Yeah,
card
because I
me.
got to dig in my pocket.
The only time I mind is if I'm voting. Okay, that's a joke. That's not serious.
And that does get back to the issue. You have to show your ID for everything.
Right.
Everything.
Right.
Why would we say, oh, but voting, you don't need to? It doesn't make any sense.
And you can't tell me poor people can't afford licenses because I see them smoking.
And they don't need to afford licenses because we'll give them one if they have to. If we have to, it's not that. It's
there
a
is
little piece of plastic. It's cheap, but
there is a program to do that.
and there, yeah. And we keep saying, oh, it's obvious that we need it. It's obvious to most Democrats too. We got the 71% agreeing to it.
Yeah, no,
But it's just the
higher.
administration, the Democrat head bigwigs.
Remember they used to say
resisting.
the Dems used to say, well, the black families, which I would. Why do they not get punched in the face by a black man after that? Why is that? Why is that so acceptable? So you know how those black families are,
Right?
but I don't profile,
Right.
but that's crazy.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they did poll numbers. CNN did this by every different. You get males, females, racial denominant, and all that stuff. There wasn't a single group below 75.
Right. It's
No.
because it makes sense.
Oh,
It's
so
reason.
it just shocked me that black families had ID. No, it doesn't. It doesn't because they're citizens.
Yeah, they're part of the world.
We're all people. But the left leans on that. Not so much now. I think they're backing away from
Well,
that.
now they're saying women are stupid.
Yeah, women are
Yeah.
stupid now.
Yeah.
Because they get married, they don't know how to get an ID because it's complicated.
Right.
They may not be able to find their driver's license.
Well, they got the big purses and everything. It's all there's all kinds of stuff.
Is that what it is? It's a big purse.
Yeah. And anytime that somebody is saying, "Oh, this group of people,"
Yeah.
there's
Oh
already
my gosh.
there's already something wrong with what they're.
Yeah. How can you get away with saying that stuff?
Yeah.
It's amazing to me. My screen right now is showing on my commercial break. I'm not. I can't remember how I turned it on.
There's still no commercials though.
There's no commercials. I
Does
found it. I turned it off.
when YouTube puts commercials in the middle of the videos, do they wait for your commercial break, or do they just cut you off and put a commercial in?
Who?
YouTube, they put ads on long videos.
I
While you're
have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Because
Because that would be nice if they would wait for your commercial break.
We're out of time. I'm going to kick you out now. I'll be back.
Time to go.
Thanks for coming in, Chris. I
Yep.
appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow. AM 560 KBO. No, I'm not. I do it every day. When will it stop? Mortgage One Studio.